Hailing frequencies open. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Shield of Tomorrow. Before we get started tonight, I want to do two things. First, I want to give a big shout out to our crew tonight because we're kind of shorthanded because of Gen Con, and they really have been doing a great job like hammering this all together and getting us up and going tonight. So sorry we're running a little late. The next thing I want to do is we have, I believe I mentioned last week, a guest that I want to go ahead and introduce right away at the top of the episode. So everybody, please welcome Jason Charles Miller, our guest player for the evening. If I can get him in here. It's kind of working. I think did that work? How are you feeling? Are you good?
Oh,
did that work?
Yeah.
All right, cool. It works.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, come on in.
Right.
You come on and take a seat.
Hey.
Our entire show budget went to that. So we're going to end the stream in about 30 seconds. Thank you so much for watching Shield of Tomorrow.
That's a wrap, everybody.
That was great show, everybody. Great show.
Ever transport on Twitch or Earth, so good for us.
So welcome, Jason.
No, he has an extra arm. Oh no.
So let's go ahead and get to our announcements real quick. First of all, off the top of my head, Gen Con is here. It has begun. So make sure while you're out there to stop by and see Modifius. Modifius is going to have their place set up, and they've got hard copies of Star Trek Adventures all over the place. It's pretty crazy.
Is it board cube?
Yeah.
Whoa, what now?
Yes. Yeah. So the limited edition, the limited edition version of Star Trek Adventures is a board cube
Don't make me use this, Eric.
It's a as a Game Master screen insert that turns it all into one. So you just slide it out and it's shelved. So you can put the book inside and the miniatures and the dice and everything. It's really
Can we
nice.
transport to Gen Con right now?
Yeah.
Using
So anyway,
whatever
like I said,
Jason
that was
came-
tonight's episode. Thanks. I'll see you later. So stop by and see them. Also, Amy Dallon's creeping around out there, and so is Amy Vorpal. There's a lot of people out there. Ivan is out there.
Amy's out there.
There's a lot of
the
the Amy's have descended upon Gen Con.
Overtaken Gen Con and remade it in their more awesome image.
Yeah. So just keep an eye on the Geek and Sundry Twitter account because we're going to be sending out. We've already kind of given you guys heads up where it's going to be, but for anybody who's attending Gen Con, we are going to be sending out the information of where you can find them. I know that Geek and Sundry, I think, has a panel out there. It's going to be really good. Also, Critical Role Live. I mean, damn. That I don't know if y'all have gotten a chance to see last year's, but it was amazing. It was the moment Marisha got the "How do you want to do this?" on that monster with the blight spell. It was so rad. Anyway, so that'll be coming up for Gen Con. Let's see what else. We're gonna be having more giveaway codes from Star Trek Online coming up. Are we doing that tonight, or we're gonna hold off on that till next week? Right? We have more giveaway codes coming up next week. Yeah. Okay. So more giveaway codes next week. We're going to be pumping that out. I'm trying not to. I'm sorry. My boss is laughing off in the distance, and it's distracting me. So we'll be having more giveaway codes coming up next week. And also, real quick, again. Every time I put this uniform on, I got to thank Anovos because it's so rad. So thank you, Anovos. Thank you for all our lovely uniforms. Do you guys have any announcements that y'all want to shout out before we begin? Yes, Aliza.
I have an exciting announcement. This Sunday, I'm co-presenting and co-sponsoring a special night called A Voyage Through Trek. And it's happening at Impro Studio in Los Feliz, LA. Starts at 6 p.m. and it's a double header. So at 6 p.m. we're gonna have this woman named Andrea Kindred who worked on TOS back in the day. And she knew Nichelle and Shatner, and she worked with all of them behind the scenes. She's going to just talk about, for an hour, her experiences in Star Trek and in the 60s with the civil rights movement. She also knew a lot of civil rights leaders back then. So this woman has amazing stories. Wow. She's going to tell stories for an hour. That's moderated by Larry Nemechek, who's a big Star Trek guy. And then we're going to go into the Improvised Generation show, and I am actually one of the two characters in that episode. My character, Captain Georgia Thompson. So I'm really excited about
go
this.
get saturated in Star Trek.
Yeah, saturated.
In Los Feliz, you said?
In Los
6
Feliz,
p.m.?
yeah.
How can
6
people
p.m.
get tickets?
You can go to my Twitter. I've retweeted it recently, but I'll make sure to tweet it again on our break. It's called A Trek Through Voyage.
Sounds awesome.
A voyage through Trek.
Either one sounds good.
Either way.
I mean,
and they're kind of the same word. It's funny. A voyage through Trek.
Yeah.
But you get it, right? It's like a thing. It's like.
No, I don't get it.
No. Okay.
Sorry. No,
Trek
I can't.
The voyage home.
Voyage 4?
Cool.
I have a quick one.
Yeah, fire
For
away.
anyone that's randomly in Hawaii next weekend, Xander and I will be at Amazing Hawaii Comic-Con in Honolulu. So come and geek out with us. We'll have panels and we'll do a Library Bards concert and we have a table, and come talk Trek with me there too, because that's what I do.
And you're bringing all of us with you.
Oh yeah, they're
God, I
all.
wish.
You
I'll get in
can
your
all fit in
suitcase.
my luggage. I mean, our Bard bag is pretty big.
All right.
So.
In luggage.
I'm in hobo.
So I can go ahead and make an announcement real quick too, that I should go ahead and give heads up that not this next week, but the week after, the final week of this month, Shield of Tomorrow is going to be taking a quick sabbatical. We're going to be taking a break. Because I'm going to be, Matt and Marisha have convinced me to go to Burning Man, God help me. And so I'm trekking out there with them for a weekend of insanity.
Trekking.
So trekking, I say weekend, but it's a week. I'm going to be there the whole week inhaling dust
So
and
what
puffing
you're
on my
saying
inhaler and
is-
having fun.
I'm the game master now.
Actually, Sax will be taking over, and he's got some pretty twisted things in store, and I've been keeping up with it. So in about, I guess, 2 weeks' time, Sax will be running a special one-off episode.
We're all gonna
You're not gonna die, but I have. I'll just say this. I'll just tease this, and hopefully he won't strangle me. I will say there will be a Galaxy Quest-esque feel to the game.
Perfect.
I will put that out there.
Perfect.
And leave it at that. Last announcements. I feel like I don't know why I'm feeling something from over here, like
Hector, you have an announcement.
something from over here. Did I miss that? Did I miss that role?
Further.
It's like it's a feeling
have
I'm
an
getting. It's like
I do have one announcement.
Oh, go for it.
what was that?
I'm excited.
No, I don't think that's what it was. No, sorry.
Actually, you know what I do want to say though? I want to say thank you to everyone who played Star Trek Online with us on Sunday, because that was amazing.
Oh, that was super dope.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted, that was a quick thank you.
Thank you. In closing, we're going to try to do that again.
Okay, cool.
We're going to see if we can pull that off, but we're going to try to do the Star Trek Online play along once a month if we can swing it. We still got to jump the hoops a little bit and find out if we can pull that off. But we would love to do that because we had a blast on Sunday.
I've been keeping track. There's 4 things that need to happen.
What's up?
Actually, 5 things. Number 1, the show needs to be. I'm talking cha-ching money successful enough for this company to send us to 4 things this time next year. Number 1, live episode of Shield of Tomorrow at San Diego Comic-Con. Number 2, live episode of Shield of Tomorrow at Star Trek Con in Las Vegas. Number 3,
all sounds good.
live episode of Shield of Tomorrow at Gen Con.
Gen
And number
Con.
4, whatever Bonnie's Hawaii thing is, let's go to Hawaii and do a live episode
Also,
there.
PAX, that'd be good. That's one. That's going to count. That's one.
That- okay,
I'm
that
counting that
counts.
as one. I'm marking that down.
Let's all
Alright.
of us
Alright, we
and
count
you at
them.
home make sure that this show is very, very popular and
Let's
good.
do good.
Yes,
So that
Captain.
we can do all of that cool shit next year.
We'll just take
The
July
cat
through
says-
August.
So on that
You know, a good
note,
way to be popular is to start the show.
yes, exactly. So on that note, let's go ahead and launch into our special episode tonight of Shield of Tomorrow. Okay, welcome back. Sorry, I jumped into the Enterprise theme song again while we were in intro. now I'm screwed because it's in my head. All right, so welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into the game tonight. We finished last episode. We had some great moments there with essentially a stone memory. I guess it was like a memory battery.
Cylinder battery. I like
Battery is a good way of putting it. Some pretty interesting developments in that. That was the previous episode, previously on Shield of Tomorrow. Had some interesting moments with Talon and a certain ambassador.
It was a date.
caused a lot of
Not
Talon.
Whatever Tom wants it to be.
Moving into this week's episode, to give everyone an idea of where we are in the galactic timeline of events taking place in this period of Star Trek. What has happened since the last episode in a very short amount of time, this would have probably blown up all over subspace at this point. Pretty much every starship operating out in space right now has been alerted to the attack on Deep Space Nine. Chancellor Gowron himself, flying the brand new flagship of the Klingon Empire, came and issued an ultimatum to Captain Benjamin Sisko. And the details have not been made available to everybody who's out on duty right now, but what has become known as the first battle of DS9 did take place, in which the Federation held off an attack by a very large Klingon fleet. Gowron did call an end to the hostility. The Federation, and for the interest of not provoking the Klingons further, have been very careful not to call it a retreat. But essentially a ceasefire did happen and the Klingons withdrew. And ever since then, every ship in service right now out of space dock has been put on alert to all captains. Mandatory when coming into contact with any Klingon vessel is to immediately go to yellow alert. And to treat all Klingon vessels as possible vessels. There
Possible
are
hostile vessels?
possible
I heard that too.
possible hostile vessels. Hostile what?
That's impossible.
Did I say possible? That's good. No, now I want spaghetti. All right, so that is the state of the galaxy at the moment. The Alpha Quadrant and the Beta Quadrant are both kind of roiling from this.
Just a question. Was this the episode of Deep Space Nine where Worf officially joined?
Mm-hmm. Way of the Warrior.
Way of the Warrior. Is this something that the rest of Starfleet is aware of, that Commander Worf is stationed at Deep Space Nine, that he had like
It's not a big out. It's not. That's information that a captain could definitely get their hands on. It's not stuff like that. Wouldn't be broadcast. If it was somebody earth shaking, like if it was Picard who decided to station him, that would definitely make the wires. Okay. But in this case, if you did some digging to like find out more information about exactly what went down at DS9, like any captain probably would, wanting to find out why one of the most strategically important strongholds in the Federation was attacked by a former ally, you would definitely catch wind that Worf had joined the crew of Deep Space Nine.
Just that he was instrumental.
He was instrumental
in helping resolve that conflict because
that would definitely make the report. Yeah.
Klingon. So okay, cool.
That would definitely make the report.
I'll bring it sometime, but I actually have that week. TV Guide had Michael Dorn on the cover as Worf, and it's a issue of TV Guide, and it says the Worf Factor, and it's about him joining Deep Space Nine.
I'm a proponent of the fact that just like Riker got and the show got good when Riker got a beard, when Worf got his ponytail, that character just took off. So,
and Sisko not having hair.
Yeah,
like,
when Sisko shaved,
really
it's have you noticed that? It's always got to do something with the hair growth. Like somebody's hair changes,
Except for Felicity.
Yeah, except for Felicity.
I liked it after her haircut. All right. But no one else did.
Show went down. Show went downhill fast. Sorry, JJ. Anyway, all right. All right. Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop thinking about Felicity.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're going to pick up. So where we are now, currently the Sally Ride has been ordered to take part of the scientific survey of Star Cluster 847 Beta.
What was that?
847 Beta.
Star cluster?
It is a unique star cluster. This is kind of what the ride was built for. She was designed to scan these sort of spatial anomalies. What's up?
Before we forget, are you allowed to tell us the name of this episode?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the episode should have come up at the end of the credits. Did that happen?
No.
The answer is I don't know. We weren't watching the live stream. I hope it was. But if it wasn't, the name of the episode is Intelligence.
Ooh.
And it is, of course, story by my module writers who helped me build the game, Rick Budd, Nick Gilman. My guys, my fellow Trekkies.
Okay.
All right.
That was vital information for me.
Yes.
I'm assuming we have...
I'm glad you asked.
Ah! All right. Aha! There's the Sally ride. I can hear you now, sweetie. All right.
Comforting hum.
Yes. Okay. So, having been ordered to investigate this, the other piece of information that's relevant to this episode is Dr. Throlos Shasiros has left the ship. She's on leave. She is attending the Starfleet Genetics Conference, also known as Gen Con.
However,
Let that sink
piece
in.
of her with us here tonight.
That she is in spirit as we
Because
carry.
I had to have someone to look at and be like, oh, if an all moment happened. So I made myself a stick with Amy's face on
I
it.
promise this is going to be a serious
So-
episode.
It is. I will not use it in case it arises. But Amy, just so you know, I love you.
Your severed incarnated head is with us.
I hope this is a good placement for you.
It feels good.
Also, just for future reference, Jason's really good at awe moments as well. You can look right in his big puppy dog eyes.
But he doesn't have
look
the
at that.
antennas. There you go. Okay.
In Dr. Throlos Shasiros' place, Nurse Matazi has taken over head of medical. Matazi is a very tall male Cation. And for those of you who don't remember what the Cations are, they are the feline race.
All right.
Matazi stands close to tipping the scale to, I guess, almost upwards towards 7 feet tall.
Wow.
Has lovely jet black fur that grays at the corner of his whiskers. He's known for being very polite, very methodical, and might have a little bit of a hero worship thing going on with Dr. Shasiros.
To those of you guys watching at home, don't worry. This guy's only going to be on here for a season. We'll iron out the contract with Amy Dallin, and she'll be back. I promise. I promise. So just you'll.
Right now, Ziv is like, oh, I better check my contract.
Yeah.
The commander kept talking about this other woman that was here before me. I better make sure.
You might dislike this guy.
I gotta make sure I've got a contract here.
You might dislike him now, but years from now, you're going to revisit the show and go like, you know what? He was okay. I liked him on that
Yeah.
show.
Oh man, whatever happened to Ziv? Where are they now? This is going to be a serious episode. All right. So, and that is where we pick up. Sally Ride is currently. This is day 3 of your scan of this star cluster. One of the things that makes the star cluster so unique is the fact that it's actually not far from a nebula. The nebula itself it's inconsequential. It's a typical gaseous nebula called the Toal Nebula. It's maybe 10 light years away or so.
What was it? Toal?
Toal, T-O-A-L. It's an unremarkable nebula, although the nebula does, of course, like most nebulas, play havoc with starship
Instrumentation. Yeah.
instrumentation. But for the most part, a star cluster this close to a nebula is not only unusual, but it's quite beautiful. It is a celestial event to behold, and looking at it on the view screen is yet another reminder of the wonders that await you all out here in deep space. No matter how many times you see these things up on the view screen, Captain, it's why this is all worth it. Everything you go through, being out here and seeing these heavenly bodies at work and unraveling their mysteries. For the most part, though, for the others of the crew who are a little more active and not quite as scientifically inclined, it's been a little quiet. I will go out and say straight up, Sage, that helming this mission has been...
Fairly easy.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Button here, button there.
Yeah, it's
pretty
like,
much on autopilot.
It's like a 200-mile straight shot down a dead highway. You've just been like...
I will say, though, the holodeck program of the Targ is complete.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah,
His name is Hollow. He's a
Hollow the
Hollow
Targ.
Yeah.
Hollow Targ.
Because he's the Hollow Targ.
Hollow the Targ. Okay.
Hollow Targ. So
Word
I think
has spread
same
around the
thing.
ship that Commander Rue themselves, Commander Killjoy themselves, gave that order, and the crew now has a permanent. Basically everyone has access to the program.
I tweaked it to make it a little cuter. Targs are not very attractive.
Does it have a bow tie?
It has a bow tie. How'd you know? But however, anyone can access the program, and it actually has a very intense attack program for Commander Rue. She wants to, or if they want to.
If they want to beat the crap out of the holo targ.
Out of a holo targ.
I've mostly been punching Nazis in the holo suite.
Well.
Rue has been engaging in Earth history, 1945 lately. For some reason, has just felt the inclination to get involved with fighting a certain style of warfare.
The holotarg also hates Nazis.
Just
You
can't
never
really.
need a reason.
Yeah.
It's true.
People
yeah.
might not know this, but Starfleet kind of originating from Earth. Obviously, early programmers programmed a lot of Earth history.
Yeah.
One of the first training modules is
Wolfenstein.
Nazis. It's basically a riff on
Wolfenstein 3D.
Wolfenstein. It's any sort of exercise training thing.
A lot
Nazis
of the
come
academy
up.
programs, yeah.
They're Nazis.
Half of the ones that we use in ranged combat
Yes.
in the early basic.
And they are
classes.
extremely
Lots of
violent.
them.
Like
You
they
could do
get
a nice
graphic.
freeze
Oh, yeah.
frame screenshot of you punching them.
They have the
Yeah.
full, again, holo suite, holodeck. They have the full teeth flying out, just really realistic and
So
graphic.
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Well, the holotarg is there for.
So Rue's having the time of their life right now, while everyone else is kind of. This is day 3 of investigating the celestial body, and I am going to need the first roll of the game, and it's going to come from Talan.
Science.
Talan, I need you to make a reason science roll.
Well, I can do that.
Now you're scanning these anomalies. Tell me what focuses you have, and
All right. I have astrophysics, exoarchaeology, mythology, stellar environmental anthropology, regular anthropology,
and then just regular anthropology.
xenobiology, and building tools / innovation and
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So believe it or not, none of those are going to apply here.
All right.
So real quick, before she rolls, I just want to let everybody know that Jason has never played this system tonight, and which is an opportunity that I was really excited to seize on because, especially because the game is now being published, it's coming out in hard copy. This is an excellent opportunity to use this episode as a way to also sort of remind people of rules, and so that we ourselves can revisit the rules because it is a brand new game still, even after
Right.
the episodes that we've played.
How many people have even played it yet? Really?
There's a couple of streamers that have got
Okay.
Twitch, and I've checked them out. And I should give a shout out to those guys because I would totally just say that they were a part of our universe, except for they've set their games in different timelines than ours. So but
Is this role assisted by the ship?
this roll is assisted by the ship. So
Sweet.
go ahead and make your reason science roll. The difficulty is going to be 2, reduced to 1 because the Sally ride. This is what she does. So difficulty 2. Go ahead and tell me what you get.
2 successes.
Okay.
3 successes.
What was it difficult?
I'm sorry. The difficulty was 2. It became 1.
So we got 2 momentum.
So 2 successes and 2 momentum. Okay, great.
3 successes with Sally.
Was it a total of 3 successes? Okay. Talon, as your fingers are playing across the LCARs and you're looking at the readouts from the scans, you're gauging all the energy levels that are coming out, essentially the magnetic pulses that are emanating from the star cluster. You immediately detect a debris field. It's the edge of your sensor range. And for a second, you're not sure if you're seeing it properly. It could be like a natural phenomenon. It might be rock. But after you kind of brush back across it with 3 successes, you're definitely detecting ionic energy signatures, like a trail.
Are we all on the bridge? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to say the crew's saddled up.
Captain, I'm detecting some debris just at the edge of my sensor range.
In the star cluster?
Yes, in the star cluster.
What kind of
Right.
debris?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. It could just be rock material, but I'm sensing some ionic materials.
Yeah, it's like an ionic trail.
An ionic
Essentially,
trail.
it's...
So there might have been some type of some type of energy output there
Yes.
recently.
Or
Could be a ship trail.
Could be a ship
yeah.
trail. Can we reconfigure the sensors to hone in on that from here, or do we need to approach the star cluster?
This would be an excellent. So if you wanted to do that, then this would be an awesome opportunity to spend a point of momentum to get more
Closer.
information.
Oh,
get more
let's do that.
I'll let you off that roll if you want to spend that momentum.
Yeah.
So what would you like to know?
Does someone have Studious for that? It's like a bonus thing?
I have
Studious.
Studious,
I think-
but it's history.
Oh, I
buff.
do have
Talon
Studious.
has Studious.
Yeah.
All right. So, bonus.
So that gives you an extra question, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So what were
Two
your two
questions?
questions then?
Well, the captain's question of, can we increase our sensor range? Was
Well,
that
that's what this is. So you've increased.
oh, yes.
So
Gotcha.
by spending the momentum, I'm letting
Find out.
Yeah, I'm letting Talon expertly hones in the sensors in
Ah.
On
and
the
uses.
debris.
Yeah.
And now we're going to find out two
Now
things
you get to ask
about
two
the
questions,
debris.
correct.
So maybe like life
trail?
signs and...
Because right
Ship
now.
trail, how
Ship
long
trail
ago?
and... Yeah, that's good.
So
Ship
right
trail, how
right
long-
now, all you have is a vague idea that it's an ionic trail and that it could be the debris of a vessel or something else.
Okay.
That's all the information you have right now.
Okay.
So ask your questions based off that. What would you like to know?
Oh, we're not going to find out more about the specifics of the
You have to ask me
debris?
specific questions.
Oh,
You
right.
get two.
So what is the makeup? Is it the debris of a ship?
Yes,
Can we know
it is a debris of a ship.
It definitively
yeah.
is.
It's definitively the debris of a ship.
Okay.
And the signatures you're getting from it looks like there's enough energy coming off of it that it looks like it
Recent.
not that, yeah, pretty recent.
So we have another question?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm thinking life signs. Because
think,
if,
Commander?
if the
If it's just a trail, though, or is there actual debris?
well,
Is it
sometimes
just a
there's
trail?
like little pieces of ships that
Consistent
might.
with any particular, like, groups.
Of ships.
Energy
Like if it's
trail,
a
like, is this a
Federation,
particularly Federation,
Romulan.
Oh, that's
exactly.
right.
You want to know what kind of ship it is?
Yeah.
It is the remains of a Brel-class Klingon bird of prey.
Aha. Interesting.
That was useful.
Captain, I'm seeing that this was a Klingon bird of prey, and the wreckage is very recent. Whatever happened to it did not happen that long ago.
Martinez, I know what your next question is going to be, so I'm just going to anticipate and throw this at you. You are deep in Federation space. You are nowhere near the neutral zone right now.
What would a Klingon, you said a Brel class?
Brel-class bird of prey.
What would a Brel class bird of prey be doing out here, I wonder? Near this star cluster, or maybe this nebula?
Scouting out potential locations of tactical significance. Doing any kind of reconnaissance. Just coming back from something that happened before the diplomatic incidents.
I love having a tactical commander on the bridge. This is fantastic. It's great. Could be any one of those three options. Let's hope that it's the latter and not the former. All right. I think before we move to yellow alert, there's no bird of prey anywhere within our sensors yet.
No, there's no other ships on
do
sensors.
Marry havoc with
That's true.
sensors, though.
And it could be
they're-
cloaked.
Exactly.
Given how proximate these two things are,
Would you recommend going
you
to
could
yellow
well
alert?
have wreckage in the star cluster and a flock of birds of prey in the nebula.
So just to give you guys some an idea, this bird of prey is probably about 60 million kilometers from the star cluster. You guys aren't that close to it because the closer you get to the star cluster, the more it's the same distance from Earth to the sun. This debris.
One astronaut.
You guys have been the Sally Ride has been hanging back and observing the star cluster using its deflector array and sensor suite. You don't want to get too close to the star cluster because that's just a magnetic death trap and a gravitational nightmare. So from this distance, you've been able to observe it just fine using astrometrics and astrophysics and all of the sensor suite. It doesn't look like this bird of prey was anywhere near the star cluster. It's just on the edges of your sensor range. So it's still.
Though, sir, this star cluster is so insignificant that we're only now surveying it. If this were a trap, this would be the dumbest trap.
Elaborate.
Why try to trap vessels here? If you were planning on springing a trap, why would you do it? For whom would you do it? Who else but a single science vessel
Would know about it, would care to
be
bother.
here, and so why would you task resources to it? So,
Unless it was something vitally important, unless it was some sort of a discovery,
in which case, we very much might want to find out about it.
of course. So it looks like we've narrowed it down to 2 options. It seems most likely that it's not a trap because of our remote location. So it's either option number 1, this bird of prey is coming back from, as you said, Commander Rue, some sort of a mission, something, and they're just heading through Federation space. Option number 2 means that they're here for a very specific reason, and it is a very important one with everything that's been happening recently. So we've got no choice. We've got to follow that trail. We've got to find that ship.
Agreed, sir.
On your command, I'm ready to go to yellow alert whenever
Just so you guys
are.
know, too, by the way, you can put it up on view screen from this
Oh.
distance. You'd have to magnify, but you can get a look at it with the Sally
Get a
Ride.
closer look.
Yeah.
Can you put it up on the view screen, please, Ensign?
On view screen?
All right. Sage, you find basically the sensor signature that Talon feeds you to the comm, to the helm, and as you bring it up on screen, you guys see a gutted Klingon bird of prey. It looks like she has been split in 2. Not a precise split, but there is debris floating, and some of it looks like it's still superheated. So there's a red glow to some of the debris that's floating in space. Her left wing has been completely blown off the side of the hull. And other pieces of debris are floating in space. Some of them you must imagine might possibly be the crew. Wow. This bird of prey looks like it was brutally surgically, like an incision went down the middle of it. But it doesn't look like it was an unusual weapon. It looks like it probably suffered multiple hull breaches from what looks like, just from looking at it from the outside, it looks like this bird of prey was in combat.
But with whom?
I'd like to move over to Lieutenant Commander Talon's station and see if we can work out together what kind of weapon could do this.
Okay.
Which mechanically looks like doing whatever kind of reason-y check
It would be another
required,
scan.
but I can use my collaboration talent so she can use my security number.
What I'm going to do is your collaboration, I'll let you use that, and your tactical knowledge of ship weapons is going to come into
exactly.
play here. So go ahead and...
And may I suggest we put our shields up as well?
Yes.
Oh, if that wasn't clear.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Okay.
going.
Let's take it to yellow
We're going
alert.
yellow alert, shields up.
I'm ready. Here I go. Yellow alert, Captain. There's no button here, but
Well, I would set it to yellow alert, but the iPad has locked me out,
okay.
so we're going to move on. So the... And then moving on.
Reason science?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're spending a momentum to
Yes.
collaborate
Yes.
Okay.
between
Stop.
Commander Rue and Lieutenant Commander
Collaborate.
Talon.
And listen.
All right.
So,
Over here, the same.
is this reason security or insight security?
For you, this is going to be... Thank you, Liz.
Because I figure both are stronger than mine. But my security.
It's so hard not to...
Yes, yes. My reason science is the tops.
Right, your reason's really good. Your insight's probably better than mine.
Yeah, I don't know what your insight is, but mine is pretty good.
8.
Mine's 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to say for you...
Chipmunk.
Sam, I'm going to say it'll be your... I'm going to say it's going to be your control and your command.
Oh, control command?
Yeah.
Oh, I can actually roll that.
Yeah.
Cool. Are we both doing
yeah.
2?
So I'm going to set the difficulty
If it's
here
control
at...
command, I actually rolled fine solo.
I'm going to set the difficulty here at 3.
But I need to spend an extra momentum to try to make this difficulty rating.
So
Difficulty is 3.
Collaborate.
Sorry, if we already spent a momentum to collaborate.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be a security roll, not like a reason security to try to figure it out. I didn't think it would be a control command.
Well, actually, that's a fair argument. I think... That's a fair argument, actually, Sam. I think that makes more sense. Reason security makes a lot more sense than...
No!
So I'm going to say... So we'll do that.
Okay, cool.
I'll let you do that. That makes a lot more sense to me.
Both roll 2
now
die.
collaborate.
That makes sense, right?
No, because that would be too many successes.
All right, so
you roll 1.
But
I think,
difficulty
'cause
is
it's
3.
almost, isn't it like an assist?
I thought, is it not an assist? What are you doing?
You're technically doing the roll. You're just using my security numbers and my focuses.
got it. Thank you. Didn't understand what was
Okay,
happening.
cool. All right, so the
so
difficulty is 3.
With
3.
collaborate, the person that is being collaborated with uses the stats of the
uses
Player
the
that has
discipline
collaborate?
stat,
The discipline.
not the attribute.
Correct.
Okay.
So she's using her reason,
So-
my security.
I see.
This can
Gotcha,
also
gotcha,
apply in
gotcha.
a fight. That's why you stay near me, Sage. Remember?
That's a collaboration.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it.
I am
That's how the
not
rules
leaving
are.
your side, sir.
What is your
not in a fight.
security?
I have
Five,
no
great.
face.
There you
It's
go.
kind of my thing.
All right. So
Okay,
I'm rolling
cool.
Let's go.
2 die.
All
because-
right. So go ahead and make the roll. Difficulty is 3.
All right.
So Talon has to roll less than 17.
Hey. Oh, okay. 2 success, but yeah, 2 success.
Yeah, but it's a difficulty
Difficulty
3.
3.
Okay.
Did any of them
Under
crit
5? No.
Dang.
Or crit? No.
or focus or whatever? Yeah.
No. Yeah.
All right.
No focus
Well,
here.
That was a lot of time spent on it.
From this distance, with the information you've got, even all you can tell is that it suffered multiple impacts on the hull from both energy and kinetic weaponry. But you don't know anything else.
I
You don't know
think
what kind it was or
kinetic
what
weaponry?
kind of
We
weapon did
could
it.
conclude that someone finds this place or that ship significant.
Yeah.
This is
That much is
not what
clear.
you would expect from
Like,
an unsurveyed star cluster.
I feel like it wasn't an internal hull breach. It looks like it was attacked from the outside. Can we make that assumption? So something attacked this ship.
Good eye, Sage.
There's still
That's all I got. I'm just gonna fly
Not
it.
bad.
There is the possibility that it was a natural phenomenon, but knowing that we are in, or have recently been in open conflict with Klingons, I agree that we should we would be wise to approach this as if it could have been some type of battle.
Commander Rue, can you check Starfleet databases to see if there's been any sort of a battle that we weren't aware of with Starfleet in this area with Klingons?
Sir, I can tell you now that there hasn't.
There still might be survivors. Whether it was an attack, it was some sort of a natural phenomenon, which we've dealt with some pretty extreme ones, or some sort of an accident. In any case, there might be survivors on board. We need to hail them. We need to approach at quarter impulse power and hail them, please. Ensign
let's push
Sage.
All right, Captain, I'm gonna get as close as possible without feeling it like a threat and hailing.
1/4 impulse power?
Yes.
Okay, so where are you positioning the Sally Ride? You're basically just moving her into range?
Moving her into range. I mean, I feel like the ship is damaged enough to where it's not a threat to us.
It's been destroyed.
But at the
It's-
same time, whatever destroyed it could still be around
Sure.
that we're not aware
What if
of.
you skirt the border of the nebula so we can always duck in if we need to have a place to hide?
That is a very good idea.
If
I will.
there's, if this,
So the nebula is a good distance from here.
Oh, okay, so
Because the nebula is on the other side of the star cluster.
and also, if it's been damaged this much, if there are any survivors, they might not have any power, and like we want to get as close as possible. If we want to hail them,
here's what we're going to do.
we need as much.
What are
We're
you
going to play
doing?
a little three-dimensional chess.
Okay.
Okay.
I want you to position the ship, approach the Klingon ship with the Sally Ride. We're going to position the Sally Ride above the Klingon ship, facing the nebula. So if things get dicey, we're in that nebula. We're gone. But
Yes,
give me
Captain?
clear sky pathway into the nebula, but we are above.
So we're going above the star cluster?
That's an easy maneuver. I won't have you roll for
faster
that.
than they are, and
Exactly.
if we
Or-
position
Yes.
interpose ourselves.
The ship is cut in half. They're not going to follow
Yeah,
us.
they're not
No
going
offense.
anywhere.
We're at least.
I'm not
just-
worried about the thing cut in half, Sage.
Yeah,
I'm worried about the
some-
thing that cuts.
So what are you doing? I'm going to give
Understood,
myself
sir.
a threat here because y'all are. What are you going to go ahead and move the Sally Ride in position?
We
Okay.
are now above the Klingon ship, and I am hailing. Bloop, bloop.
Simple
Hailing.
maneuver. 1/4 impulse power. You bring the Sally Ride in just above the Klingon vessel. When you hail the ship, you get no reply.
No reply, Captain.
Hail them again.
Hailing.
Can we
You were
also
met with silence.
Let's push in. We
can
can always beat them to the
scan
nebula.
for life forms?
Sure.
We
Go
never
ahead and
did
Yeah, I
that.
think we should scan.
Now that you're closer, you can make another roll.
Okay.
Not quite yet, Commander Rue, but soon.
No, just push in.
Difficulty here is actually, this will be a nice, you know what? This is going to be a juicy opportunity to build some momentum. I'm going to set the difficulty at 1, which will reduce it to 0.
Ooh.
All right.
Which,
Well then.
why is there a point to rolling that? That's actually a system in the game. So go ahead and,
And
make it,
then
because you can still get
Sally-
complications from rolling 20s. So go ahead and roll your 2d20 for
So
the scan.
right now, Klingons are both alive and dead. We're Schrodinger's
Are you
Klingons.
kidding me?
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Please tell me what
Are
you rolled.
Wait,
Did you get kidding me?
Two fails.
What did you roll?
that was pretty
Did
impressive.
you just roll 2 20s? What'd you roll?
Yes, she rolled 2 20s.
You rolled 2 20s? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I rolled a success.
Okay, so we have what?
No, you have no successes.
Oh, that's true.
No, wait, what was the other one though?
What
a
other
20
one?
and a 20.
Yeah, 20, 20, and a 1.
Wow. You rolled
she
two
rolled
20s.
Sally
a
can't.
one?
No, what was your third?
Sally can't assist unless it's a success.
Your
Okay,
success won't
gotcha.
count it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
do that roll. I'm
Wow.
actually not in the game now.
Thanks for playing, Jason. We'll see you next week.
And we all go home.
I am so astonished by that. I'm going to go ahead and award myself 2 threat because you rolled 2 20s, so I'm going to mess with y'all.
Would you like new dice? We can put them in the jail.
Put them in dice jail.
Okay, so
yeah,
this is
I'll
what
get
you
you
get.
some more dice.
Thank you.
Focus, girl,
Yeah,
focus,
those
focus.
Okay.
So this is what you guys get. Not only are you having trouble detecting life signs, but it looks like the cloaking device is still powered and is causing minor fluctuations. So as you're scanning, you actually detect that the ship is actually in a state of cloaking, decloaking at such a frequency that it's not actually causing the ship to go invisible, so to speak, but it's disrupting all of your sensors. It's causing like a flow of energy coming out of the cloaking field, which is disrupting any precise scans as you've gotten closer. There was a flicker, a small flicker on the scan that may have been a life sign. But it looks like because of the state of the interference coming through on sensors that it might be tricky transporting anybody in or out there to investigate.
We're gonna have to do this on foot.
Or
It's possible.
Captain.
Jiv is nothing to laugh at. He's gotten you guys in and out of some pretty tight spots with the transporter.
And I was also going to suggest, Captain, couldn't we maybe? Oh gosh, words are hard. Big words are hard, especially. Could we possibly use one of our systems to disable the cloaking device somehow, like either with a, I wouldn't say a tractor beam, but like maybe send a frequency to the tractor, not the tractor, to the cloaking device and try and disable it somehow. I don't know if that's even a possibility, but
Did
maybe.
you mention if their shields were down?
There are no shields.
There are no shields.
This ship,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, what it looks like is it has basically it has like thruster power still activated. Like you are detecting energy coming out of the ship, but this ship has been destroyed. Think of it like a battleship in the water that still has its engine working, but it's sinking. Like for all intents and purposes, this thing is toast.
So the tactical situation doesn't change at any distance. We're faster. If something looks wrong, we wrap it. There's no harm to pushing in and getting better solutions on sensors, better solutions on transporters, even trying to get them up on comms if there really is a life sign. We push in.
Or, Captain, if there was a way to lock onto the life sign, we could shoot something at the cloaking device and destroy it. It might destroy the rest of the ship, but as soon as it was down, we could possibly beam the life sign on board.
That's a little bit too risky, Ensign Sage. I don't want these Klingons thinking that we're attacking them for any reason. I consider that option as well, but I'm leaning towards Commander Rue's suggestion of pushing in, or, like you mentioned earlier, trying to set up some sort of feedback loop that we can send their way to try to dismantle their cloaking device. The fact that their shields are down may mean that there may be Klingons on board that may be trying to reach us and hail us for help, which means that they may be trying to fix their own cloaking device on their own end and trying to cooperate with us. That might be a possibility as well. So hopefully with that, it would only be sort of a 50-50, we'd have to meet them halfway. We'd have to hope that they are on the other end trying to meet us halfway. If we can push in, we can again continue to try to heal them and continue to try to just get better readings. So I want to just get closer to the ship from our position currently.
Okay, gonna bring her.
So bring her in
a little closer.
even closer.
Yes, sir.
Ensign Sage.
Okay, you finally reach the distance that most ships, like when ships encounter each other in space, you basically reach that sort of hailing beam distance, so to speak. Your standard issue sort of safe distance. when encountering another vessel. At this range, I will let you roll one more time to scan, but I'm gonna jack this a little bit.
Let's just keep going until we find out. Like, just get close enough.
No. It's not going to work like that because even if
Get
we
close enough
advance,
that we can hail. Get close so we can transport.
so if you want to transport over, you can. But this is basically what you're doing right now is dictating on what you're going to run into when you finally accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. So what I need from you right now, what did you have something?
I was going to say, is there any way for us to compensate if we figure out, like, I don't know, the frequency of the cloaking device or something that we could disrupt it for, even if it's just a few seconds, to try and beam whatever life signs we discover out of there?
If you want to make a roll, but there's really
It's a Federation ship, absolutely, but it's it's a Klingon bird of prey.
that's the thing is there's no known technique to
we don't
force.
know anything about the cloaking devices, really.
No.
Yeah. Figured.
All right, so what this is going to do, I'm going to let you roll this success at a cost, which means no matter what you roll right now, you're going to succeed. But if you roll complications, they're doubled.
Okay. Right, you want some of mine?
No, I have new ones.
Oh, you got new
I am
ones?
just
Okay.
racking up
you.
threat this game.
I know.
All right, so go ahead and make your roll.
Okay.
Difficulty at this range is going to be 2, reduced to 1.
This is my regular reason science. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Scanning for life forms. Life forms.
All right.
You
2
precious
successes.
little life forms. 2 successes.
3 successes.
3 successes.
Ooh, that means we get 2 momentum.
You get 2 momentum. There is 1 life sign,
Anytime
and
we
only 1 life sign.
Is it like an NPC?
That life sign seems to be in the bridge area of the ship. Klingon, very faint.
Well, Captain, there is 1 survivor on or near the bridge.
Can we lock onto their signature and beam them aboard?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do that, and just to be safe, I want to beam them directly to sickbay. Martinez to Nurse Mtazi.
This is Nurse Matazi, Captain.
Matazi, we have a incoming Klingon survivor of this bird of prey heading your way. I'm going to meet you down in medbay right now.
Yes, sir, I understand. I'll be waiting for them.
You're coming with me,
Yes.
obviously.
I'm wondering how many Khajiit jokes were just popping up in chat right now.
Don't start.
Khajiit
We go to
has
medbay.
medicine for you if you have coin. All right. So Matazi, you wanted Matazi to meet to be prepared for a direct transport to sickbay?
Yes.
All right. This is going to be. Do you want Jiv to do this? To do a side to side?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, let me pull out Jiv's stats.
Oh.
Lieutenant Commander Jiv.
Hi, Captain. What can I do for you?
Seems we've got a Klingon survivor of this badly beaten ship on their bridge. I need you to do a site-to-site transport directly to sickbay.
There's a beat, and then you hear him say, "Yeah, I thought this was a little too quiet for a mission for
Yep.
us." All right. Yes, sir. Coming right up. All right. Let's see. Finesse. I'll set the difficulty. This is pretty easy. I'll set the difficulty at 1.
Do I roll
Okay.
for the ship because it's a transporter?
That's correct. So go ahead and make Sally rides. I guess this is going to be a control.
Or engines engineering?
Yeah.
Or what?
I'm going to say make this. Make this a computers. Make this computers con.
Okay.
So that should be. Tell me what you get.
Boom. 2 successes.
How many?
2.
2. So gain 2 momentum.
Ooh.
All right.
Atta girl.
We are at 4. Thank you, Sally Ride.
Yes, we need you, Sally.
Yeah, because you guys are just juicing me with threat. I'm just like, this is the most threat I've ever had in this game.
Okay.
Thanks, Talon. 2D. Wow, 220s. That's amazing.
It's fine.
Okay. A few moments pass and you hear Matazi in sickbay say, "I have him, Captain."
Wait, we didn't wait till we got there. I feel like we waited till we got there.
I'm sorry.
We were
you-
on
We
our
were
way.
going to sick bay.
So
Okay.
we can either pretend like
No,
we waited
it's
to do
fine.
the transport until we arrived at sick bay, Rue and I,
This
or
is simple.
on
When
our
you
way.
guys are walking in, you hear it on your communicator
Perfect.
just before you walk in the doors.
And
As
before I
doors
left the
open
bridge,
up-
I said, Lieutenant Commander Talon, you have the bridge.
Okay. Gives you center chair. Mm-hmm. So walking into sick bay, you slide into the center chair. walking into sickbay, you see laying on the bed near Matazi is a Klingon warrior in full Klingon armor with burns all over his armor. It looks like he was probably a little close to one of the consoles he was probably manning when it went up. You're also seeing horrible burns on the side of his face. But he does look like your standard Klingon. His crest is very powerful looking. It looks like this is a Klingon that's probably come from one of the higher houses, one of the more noble houses of the Klingon Empire. Matazi's just running a scan and says, he's pretty badly injured, but he is okay. There's not much of a hardier species than Klingons, Captain.
I know that's true.
I could erect a force field and bring him to if you want to speak to him.
Please.
Let me just give him something for the pain. Gives him a hypo. Goes over and presses in a few buttons, and you see a force field come up. And he says, here we go. Jason, the last thing that K'Dok remembers was that weapons console going up, and you hearing your captain Lavok shout, "Ram them." He leapt out of his center chair and shouted that, and the next thing you heard was a popping sound in your ears as something rocked the ship so hard that you were thrown across the room by force of the explosion, and as you were in mid-fight, realizing as your ears were popping that the hull had been breached severely and that everything was depressurizing. And as you hit the floor and heard the explosions going off all around you, you could hear the emergency bulkheads closing and force fields erecting, the screams of Klingon warriors as they were being jettisoned into the black void of space, and then the heat of a fire and darkness. And now, as your vision starts to come to, you're vaguely aware of a dull pain all over your body, and the soft, gentle light overhead, and a uncomfortable, soft bed underneath your spine. Your first instinct clicks in. You're not on board an enemy vessel. But as you blink and look around, you see the unmistakable images of Starfleet uniforms surrounding you.
A Starfleet ship.
Hi. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine.
I know. Klingons are always fine.
That's true. You're aboard the Federation ship USS Sally Ride. I'm Captain Rafael Martinez. What's your name?
My name is K'Dok.
K'Dok, what happened to your ship? Are there any other survivors on board that we can help?
Not that I could see. I was on a classified mission. But all I can say is that there is a Cardassian ship close by, badly injured, with its warp drives disabled, that we must find now.
Matazi, did we scan for any viruses or pathogens or anything? Is K'Dok okay?
The transporter would have alerted us immediately, Captain.
Bring down the shield.
Ding, ding. Vroom. Shield comes down.
So it was a Cardassian ship, you said?
A Cardassian ship.
Well, we're relieved that we were able to save you in time, K'Dok. Thank you for giving us that information. Is there anything that we can do to help, to further assist you? Anybody that we can hail? We can hail the Klingon Empire on your behalf and get them in touch with you, or...
Help me find that Cardassian ship.
Okay, but before we do that, I just want to make sure that there are no other Klingon crewmen aboard your ship, and if there's anything that we can do to potentially stabilize your ship so that the Klingon Empire, so that the Empire can retrieve it, or whatever it is that they need to do.
The Empire would be most appreciative if you scanned for any other life forms. I saw none where I was,
Okay.
but it is a large ship.
All right, we'll keep trying. We're gonna try. Do you have the codes for your cloaking device? We were having difficulty scanning your ship with our sensors. If this is a case where you don't want to divulge that information, I don't know if our nurse Mtazi is going to tell us that you're well enough to be beamed back over there so that you can bring down the cloaking device momentarily and then beam back over for your continued medical attention, or you can tell one of our officers and we can transport over there, shut it down, and then we can scan and try to save anybody who's still there.
Your burns would be easily treatable. It would just take a few moments.
It's your call.
I would rather do it myself.
I understand. Okay, that's fine.
We change the codes daily, but I would rather you not even know any pattern.
I understand. It's completely fine. All right, so if you're well enough to travel, Kadak, we can set up an away team right now so that we can
Klingons
beam over
are
there.
always well enough to travel.
It's good. You don't disappoint, Kadak. You do not disappoint. All right. Fantastic. If it's all right with you, I'd like to accompany you along with a few security personnel.
Very well.
And my commander, Janil Rue, if that's fine with you. All right, great.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and skip to the scene where you guys are setting up, just so you know what this is going to entail. Your scans of the
scene, so we lose a momentum.
That's correct.
Great.
Subtract
We're down
one
to 3.
momentum.
We're down to 3.
So, just to give you an idea of what you're about to get into, life support is completely destroyed on this ship. Large pieces of this ship, including near the areas where you beamed him out of, are completely exposed to space with no force fields. This ship is a wreck in space. It does have minor power, as I stated before. So essentially, beaming onto this ship, you are going to have to be in full spacesuits with magnetic boots, the whole bit. You're basically going into a weightless space Hulk.
Awesome.
With minor power to the bridge.
Do we have a suit that can accommodate Kadak?
Yeah, probably.
Equipment,
Let's be honest.
something?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, considering the range of species that work in Starfleet, yes, absolutely.
At least until we can restore life systems aboard, and then Kadak can get rid of the suit. That's fine.
Okay. All right, then let's go ahead and do this. You guys beam over to the bridge of this destroyed Brel bird of prey.
Who is on the away team? Just so we're
Myself, Commander Rue, Kadak, and 2 or 3 security
officers.
Security officers,
Some
yeah.
yellow shirts coming along.
Some yellow shirts.
Okay.
With interesting backstories themselves that maybe we'll get to someday.
that'll have
Who
our
knows?
Ox crew.
Yeah.
All right, auxiliary crew. I'll let you guys decide who attended this away mission. Shout out to our Discord server. Beaming over to the vessel, when you arrive and the blue glow pulls away, you can still hear the like the hum of the alert sound going off. Kadak, it's there's nothing left. When you all beam onto the bridge, you're seeing a few. You see at least 2 Klingon corpses floating past it. Their skin is crystallized over burns from the explosions, but it looks like they died before they suffered any kind of decompression, like any of the symptoms of decompression.
They died in battle.
The low hum you're hearing is whatever sound that can travel in the vacuum with such little life support still available from the alarm system going off.
Yeah, I was gonna science check you on that.
Barely any atmosphere, but enough to
There's
serve
barely
as
any
medium.
atmosphere.
Feel the vibration.
It is Star Trek, so there's sound effects everywhere, but I am incorporating a little bit of Firefly science in there.
Actually,
Little BSG science in there.
nice. They might feel the vibration in their feet though, if there's like a sound that's strong enough. What?
No.
Sorry. Anyway.
But it's like a distant. You can hear it like distant off, and it's like a deep sort of like sound off in the distance. There is enough atmosphere left in here where you're seeing the effects of some of the crystallization that's taking place all over the bodies. The bridge and the neck to the bridge are probably the only spots on this vessel that are still intact. As you've gotten over and you're looking around, even the red glow, the view screen is just static, just shh. The captain's chair has been blown off of its center pylon and isn't floating, but it's like peeled back. The explosion that took place that severed this ship obviously rocked the bridge. There is no sign of your captain here. Probably didn't make it when the emergency bulkheads activated.
I've never had this moment before, but Martinez sees that and just to himself thinks like, just as this weird captain to captain thing, has this moment of like, that could have been me. That could have been me in a chair that could have been destroyed. I could have died in some sort of horrific ambush that maybe this crew went through. But so Martinez has never gone through that, but sees that and goes like, oh.
What also occurs to you, Martinez, as you're looking at this chair, it's just sitting there peacefully, is that what has even more impact on you as you're looking at this is this Klingon did not have the opportunity to die on the bridge. Whoever was sitting center chair was pulled into space.
Yeah.
Didn't have the luxury of dying on their own vessel like a captain would want to.
And then Martinez has a real morbid thought, kind of peaceful but kind of morbid, looks over at Kadak and thinks, well, at least one crew person from this crew survived. And then I think, if something were to happen to me, I would hope somebody were to survive from the USS Sally Ride. Like, what a morbid thought. And then store that away.
Kadak, you see the computer displays are blinking, but they do look like you could possibly operate them.
I walk over to them and punch in the codes.
The ship, the cloaking device is utterly, it's been severed. Like, there's no way you can access the cloaking device from here. It looks like it's in a state of, judging from the readings that you're getting off the computer, it looks like the bridge barely has control over the rest of the ship. There's a few. I would say there's still some memory left in the data. There's still some data in the computer, but the cloaking device itself is completely inaccessible. And from the readings that you're getting from the computer, it looks like this ship is probably going to, judging from the degradation in the power systems and the way the cloak is behaving, probably in the next, you would guess, maybe hour or so, this ship is going to explode. The fact that the core hasn't breached already is pretty miraculous, but you can tell this ship is in a state of decay.
I'm afraid we must leave this ship. I cannot access the codes, and according to this readout, this ship will be exploding within the hour.
Is there any way that we can disable the cloaking device from engineering or from another section of the ship?
From an explosion in
With
an hour?
all due respect, I don't think engineering exists anymore on this vessel.
I understand, Kadak. Well, your crew, they died honorably. Obviously. Every single one of them. Is there anything, and please forgive me, I'm not as familiar with Klingon customs as somebody who is a part of the Empire is, but is there anything that we need to do to the fallen soldiers? Do we need to...
I can answer that for you.
Yeah, please, because
Klingons give two shits about corpses.
Great.
In Klingon society,
When
someone's dead, the corpse is a shell. They've gone to Stovall and they don't give a damn about the bodies after that.
There is nothing that needs to be done. Their spirits are fighting in the great beyond. These warriors died with honor, and now they fight in another dimension and place.
Anybody have a Last Starfighter flashback there? Battling evil in another dimension?
Well said. Well, before we vacate the ship, is there anything that you need our help in collecting? Is there anything that you need? Anything of importance? Any data? Any
Everything
artifact?
that I need is on that Cardassian ship, which, I will remind you again, we battled bravely against this a much more powerful ship, but we were able to disable it.
Yeah.
I am certain that the warp drive is inoperable. They're operating on impulse power somewhere close.
And when you say that everything you need is on that ship, you're talking metaphorically like you want revenge, or is there an actual artifact or persons on that ship?
I will tell you privately, back on your ship. We must vacate here immediately.
Okay.
So we have to get back to our ship. If there's a Cardassian ship tooling around on impulse, we don't want to be caught off the vessel.
As y'all are beaming back to the Sally Ride, just giving you a quick update. Currently, Starfleet has a decent relationship with the civilian government of the Cardassian Empire.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
We're not supposed to go to yellow alert. We're not supposed to go to red alert with the Cardassians, correct?
Well, with the Cardassians, there's no hostilities. In fact, the Cardassians, the reason why you're in trouble with the Klingons is the Federation just helped rescue the Cardassian civilian government from the Klingons.
Yep.
That happened in Way of the Warrior.
And yet the diplomatic situation does not make me feel better about hearing stories about people ramming each other. And so I feel cautious nonetheless.
Ramming each other?
That's
The Klingon captain said that.
That was a memory that only his character is privy to.
fair enough.
So,
But
you
there was
guys
battle,
beaming.
which
There was definitely a battle, but the Cardassians would be justified because war's been declared on them by Klingon
not in
Empire.
Federation space.
Not in Federation space.
They should not
Neither
be
one of them should be
squabbing
here.
in Federation space.
No, that's the question right now. So you guys beam back over to the Sally Ride. That's another momentum gone as we're going to make it to the next scene.
We're gonna
This is
stay-
actually functioning like a Star Trek episode. We're jumping scenes.
We're gonna stay in yellow alert.
Okay. So we'll just cut to the scene in Captain's ready room, or in this case, I guess the conference room. Now, now you're going to have a meeting privately with the captain. Who do you want here? Do you want it just to be you? Do you want senior staff? Do you want Rue?
I'm gonna ask Kadak. Kadak, you said that you wanted to speak with me privately. May I ask you if I can bring my tactical commander into this meeting as well?
I would rather speak only with you if that is possible. You're the captain of the ship.
Yes, I am. I understand. All right, Commander, you have the bridge.
Hi, sir.
I'll be in my ready room. Right this way, Kadak.
Talon stands up.
Rue, you take center chair. Talon, you slide back into your science station. And Ensign Sage,
I've been here the whole time.
something's going on.
I'm ready. I have my hands just like,
You're like,
Before I head into the room, I'm going to say, Ensign Sage, can you move us away from this Klingon ship because it is going to explode within the hour? Just head us back to the original location we were when we were surveying the
Yes, Captain.
the trail. Thank you.
I will put us at a safe distance.
Great.
okay, you move the Sally Ride off, getting a safe distance away. You managed to put the Klingon vessel in rear view screen. It's quite a sight, Sage. This will be the first time you've seen a shipwreck in deep space. There's no doubt that some of the debris that you're watching floating out there is crew. Sometimes on board a Federation vessel, sometimes, every now and then, you can forget that you are actually in the most hostile environment that any biological creature could ever enter into.
Space.
And not only that, even though I did not live during, well, like I lived, but because I was not on Bajor, like during the occupation and whatnot, so I don't have any personal connection with Cardassians. A part of me is still like
Aware?
has that impulse fear of being Bajoran and knowing that there's a Cardassian ship around here, even though I should have nothing to fear.
Martinez, you walk into the conference room, followed by the very large Klingon behind you. Doors close behind you, and the two of you are alone.
Just real quick, do Cardassians have cloaking technology?
Cardassians do not have cloaking
I didn't
technology.
think so. All right.
Lots of places to hide here, though.
All right, Kadak, please make yourself comfortable. Or not.
Thank you, Captain. Captain,
Please, you can call me Raphael.
I'd rather call you Captain.
That's fair.
As you know, our what would you call it?
Glorious Empire?
Chancellor?
No, like
Empire?
I was going to say countries, but we're more like and one
Our governments.
Our
That's
governments
fine.
are officially no longer allies
Tensions are high, yes.
due to the brashness of Gowron. Many of us who work in the Klingon Intelligence have decided to try and broker peace.
Interesting.
there was to be a secret meeting between Klingon Intelligence, Federation Intelligence, and the Cardassians Intelligence.
I was not made aware of that. Go on.
Someone betrayed us. There is currently a Federation ambassador on that Cardassian ship.
Are you saying that this Federation ambassador is allied with this Cardassian ambassador to betray you?
No.
And your ship?
He has been taken prisoner. We do not know who betrayed us other than someone in the Cardassian Intelligence betrayed us. That's all we know.
Okay.
But all three factions were to meet to broker a secret peace. And that has now been more destroyed than our ship.
So we haven't reached out.
The Majram.
We have not reached out to the Empire yet. And we won't. If this is supposed to remain discreet, we can deliver you to the nearest Klingon outpost. We can ensure that you...
There's no time for that. We must pursue that ship. If you have any way to reach out to your intelligence, all this will be confirmed.
Kadak, I'm going to do everything that I can, but I want you to understand that my hands might be tied, unfortunately. There's only so much that I can do. You understand the incredibly delicate political situation that this puts this ship and this crew of personnel in. You guys were engaging in and I'm not disagreeing with it. In fact, I quite agree with it. A meeting to try and broker peace that was something that was secretive, that Federation didn't tell the rest of us about, that the Klingon Empire might not know about, and that the Cardassian government might not know about. If I were to, as a captain of a USS United Starship, head into the direction to try and track down a Cardassian ship with the knowledge that they have a Federation ambassador as a prisoner, I could start an international, intergalactic war that could result in the loss of life of millions and maybe billions of people. This is an incredibly delicate situation. I'm going to do everything that I can. And unfortunately, I might get shot down from my own government, as I'm sure you could understand. If I reach out to my intelligence through my channels, I might not have the clearance necessary to do what you're asking me to do. So we've got a couple of options here, and I need your help, okay? Our options are that I can deliver you to some group of Klingons that you are allied with, and I understand that that cuts away any sort of an honor that you would be required to undergo to take revenge and vengeance on the crew that you lost. I understand that. But I have a ship that we're on right now, hundreds of innocent people that have no idea what's going on. Our other options are that we find some sort of discreet way to go after these guys. I don't know.
I would be in favor of the second option.
That's what I thought. Kadak, that's what I thought. All right.
Oh, I have a really good idea, but I'm not hearing this, so I can't help.
Reach out to your people, Captain.
Oh, we will.
What would Kirk do?
Just pull out my autobiography. Oh, all Klingons are pieces of shit. Well, I gotta put that
this
away.
isn't gonna
This
work.
guy's
Well, I'm
got
sorry,
beef.
Kadak, but
This guy's got some beef here.
According to
Killed
this-
my son. Put that away. I'm not gonna read that right now. That's not a good place to go. All right.
Klingon bastard. What?
All right.
well, there's one before the game.
Doesn't count.
I said it counts.
He did say it counts. He's the game master.
All right.
So Kadak, I'm gonna reach out to my Federation contacts here while I'm in my red room, so that nobody else on my ship is aware of what it is that I'm reaching out for. And if I get a go-ahead from them, then it's on. Then we're gonna go hunt down these people. We're gonna get our guy back. If I get shot down, I need you to understand that I might not be able to help you in this situation. And I need you to give me an alternative. I need you to give me a plan B, as we say on Earth, as we say in the Federation. I need you to give me something to allow me, Kadak, to give you the the peace that you need, but to ensure that lives are not lost.
For as much as I hate to admit it, I am at your mercy, Captain. Please reach out to your intelligence.
Okay.
I shall return to sick bay to treat my wounds. You may summon me from there.
I understand. If you have any other information about this that could be pertinent, now would be the time to disclose it to me. Anything else?
Do I have anything else?
Not really. No.
Okay.
Do you know the names of any?
You pretty much told him everything, I think.
Did your captain? What was your captain's name, by the way?
Lavak.
Lavak. Thank you. Did your captain know the names of any of the Cardassian ambassadors, the Federation ambassadors, anybody?
Federation ambassador.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, you got that.
Right. What was his name? I don't think you ever gave me that.
Nelu. Nelu. A Saurian.
Wow.
Saurian Federation ambassador. Also, you're aware that he worked for Federation Intelligence. So.
Kadak, do you know the class ship of the what class the Cardassian ship was?
Galor class.
Galor class.
It's not one of their heavier hitters.
Galor.
Yeah, it's one of their. It's Galor class Cardassian vessels are a little bit smaller style vessels. Keldon class is the one you got to look out for. That's their big battleship.
Keldon?
Keldon, Keldon. But the Galor class is sort of the workhorse of the Cardassian fleet.
Okay.
Before our ship was destroyed, we were able to breach the hull of their ship in several places.
You mentioned that. You feel that that their warp drive is disabled.
I would bet my life on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Their warp drive is dismantled. That's good to know. All right. If anything comes up, I'm gonna summon you immediately, and I'll give you clearance to head right into my ready room.
Thank you,
In the meantime, like you said, head to the sick bay, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, Kadak, for all of your cooperation.
So
Long live the Empire.
Kapla.
Kapla.
Rue, you watch as this, again, an impressively large Klingon stepping out of the room as he walks up the ramp. The turbolift doors open as he's walking in. You see Jiv walk past him and just... And as he kind of turns on heel and the doors close, just goes, well, I'm alive, so that must have gone well. I didn't just get a dick-tock in my head. He goes over to the engineering section and says, transfer controls to bridge. And you see it come up.
Martinez to Matazi.
Yes, Captain, this is Matazi.
Matazi, you've got a favorite patient of yours heading back to finish up getting better.
That's more amiable than I would have expected from a Klingon captain. I'll make sure he's treated well.
Thank you, you do that. All right, I'm in my ready room. I'm going to try and open up any sort of secure channel to Starfleet.
Doesn't take much. Emergency channel to Starfleet, I'm guessing. So cross subspace on an emergency channel, you get an answer pretty quick.
Right.
When you make your inquiry, you are immediately directed to the head of operations of your fleet. A few moments pass, and on the screen, after a brief interlude, is the face of one Admiral Nash.
Oh, man.
You see his face come up on the screen and says, Captain Martinez, how are you, sir?
Not great, Admiral. I've got a bit of a situation here and I need your help.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm in Federation space. We are near Star Cluster 847 Beta, and we have encountered a downed Klingon bird of prey. There was only one survivor. We were able to save him and bring him on board. His name is Kadak. His captain was Lavak. This is what I found out. They were a group of Klingon...
They're from Klingon Intelligence, Captain. They were on a mission with Federation Intelligence to rendezvous with a representative of the civilian government of the Cardassian government.
That's right. I guess I'm calling for permission, Admiral Nash, because according to Kadak, they have Ambassador Nelly of the Federation.
You see Nash, a man who is really known for keeping his shit together. He's not hiding his concern.
Yes.
And he says, you can... How do you know that for sure? You said there was a Klingon survivor?
Correct.
Kadak, you said?
That's right. He's in our sick bay right now. According to our scans, there were no other life signs aboard their bird of prey.
They took the ambassador.
Yes. And it seems they were in some sort of an altercation. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was...
So let me get this straight. The Cardassians opened fire.
Our ambassador. I don't know, sir. I don't know if that's what happened. And our survivor doesn't quite know either. What he disclosed was exactly what I told you. That's it. I don't know who shot first. Frankly, I don't care. I know that I have a Klingon member of intelligence aboard my ship who was frankly begging me, as much as a Klingon could beg, to get in touch with you to get permission to go after this Cardassian ship. After I explained to him full well the position that I would be in, knowing that this was a meeting that was not made aware to the rest of the Federation.
No, it wouldn't be, Captain. This was
I understand.
kept under wraps.
I understand.
Captain, I'm giving you full authorization. You are to retrieve that ambassador at all costs. It cannot be done that ambassador has been brought back to the Cardassians. If that ship opened fire on the Klingons, it was not acting on behalf of the civilian government.
I understand.
If that ambassador makes it back to Cardassia, this will be a huge embarrassment to the Federation, and it will further galvanize Gowron and his hostilities towards the Federation.
My thoughts exactly, sir.
The Sally Ride is hereby given the order to retrieve this ambassador at all costs.
Is there any other information that you can give me, sir? Anything that would help?
All I can tell you, Martinez, is that there was a lot of folks, myself included, that thought this was a bad idea from the beginning, but it was worth it if we were going to be able to broker peace. We wanted to try to improve the relations, and we all know that the shadow of the Dominion is looming over all of us right now. If we can't stop something like this from happening, we might play right into the Dominion's hands. Keep me updated when you can. I'm gonna go inform the rest of my team what's going on, and I'll make sure Starfleet Intelligence knows as well. If we can give you any help, we can, but right now, Captain, you're on your own.
I understand. Keep me posted if there's any updates or anything. Let me know.
I will. Good luck, Captain.
Thank you, Admiral. Good luck to you.
Nash out. And that is where we're going to have to go on our break. Because it is 11 p.m.
Good commercial break. That's
It's a good commercial break. Staging a rescue operation. Supposedly there is a Galor class out there not far right now with the Federation ambassador on board who is probably also an agent of Federation intelligence and who's about to be delivered into the hands of enemies within the Cardassian Empire.
Captain, there's Cardassians in that nebula.
So stay tuned, everybody. We're going to be back in 10 minutes to conclude tonight's episode, this special one-off episode, Intelligence. See you back in 10 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're about to jump into the second and last half of our episode, Intelligence, here on Shield of Tomorrow. Before we do, I just want to tell everybody who's giving shout-outs to Jason Charles Miller on Twitter right now.
Woo!
A little did you know, Jason Charles Miller is actually the voice of a Klingon in Star Trek Online. So if you think he makes a great Klingon, there's a reason why. The man is actually a freaking Klingon. So that's cool.
Can I say a quick thing, too?
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I went to a wedding in beautiful Maine, and one of the relatives of the groom came up to the groom and was like, "Is that Hector Navarro?" And the groom told me, and I thought it was hilarious. The groom was marrying my girlfriend's friend, is why I was able to go along. And he told me this, and he was like, "Yeah, one of my relatives is a fan and like watches your stuff." And I was like, "I'm in a wedding in Maine right now." It's so crazy. I want to give a quick shout out to Rob Donovan, Donnie, who is watching right now. He watches it with his buds. They might not watch it live, but they have their own little Discord chat, and they hang out with themselves as they watch Shield of Tomorrow. So I just wanted to say thanks for trying out the show, and hope you guys are enjoying it. And it was great to meet you, and thank you for being a fan of Geek and Sundry and all this great stuff. So shout out to Rob.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we got into the story, I just wanted to have like a few moments with Amy, but now it's done, so I'll put her away. I love you. Okay. I miss you.
All right, let's go ahead and jump right back into the game then. Stepping out into the bridge, Martinez, with the new information you've got.
Who's on the bridge right now?
So right now it's Rue, Talon, and Sage. Jiv has also just taken the engineer's chair. He does glance back at you when you come back out of the conference room.
Okay, everybody, listen up. Our Klingon guest is in sickbay right now, but this is what I found out. He was a part of a covert group of Klingons that were attempting to broker peace between the Cardassians and the Klingons. He was going against the Klingon Empire. This is something that the Empire was not aware of. There was also a Federation ambassador involved that I was not aware of. The rest of the Federation was not aware of. That was a huge risk. I just got off the view screen with Admiral Nash, and we have been given the go-ahead to try and find this Cardassian ship because they have the Federation ambassador named Nelu. Potentially is a prisoner. They're heading back to Cardassia. We cannot let that happen because it would just galvanize the Klingon Empire and their efforts to go to war with the Cardassians. So that is what's happening right now. I think that's it. Kadak gave me all the information that I asked for and everything that he could give. I obviously trust all of you implicitly.
I think was it not trying to actually do peace between all three? Which is why the Federation ambassador was
The Federation
there too?
was getting involved because they wanted to see, the Federation's concern is the Dominion.
Got it.
And so they got involved because they wanted this to happen. And they were a neutral party, so they were trying to broker this between the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So you
But
didn't
that's,
interpret.
you can essentially, communicate that, yeah.
Boom.
No
Okay.
problem.
I've communicated
Yeah.
it.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miscommunicate.
No, you got it right. Yeah.
cool.
It's a lot of information.
We've now been given full powers to find this Cardassian ship. What we know is it is a Galor class ship that the Cardassians are dealing with. Apparently, their warp drive is potentially dismantled. That might be something that's happening. That's what we know.
That's what you know.
Does anybody have any? Yes, Ensign Sage.
If the ship is as damaged as we're expecting it to be, my first inclination would be to hide in the nebula to make repairs. I suggest we try and scan areas around there.
The nebula. Okay, great. Fantastic suggestion. We'll probably head straight there.
I mean,
Yeah.
if we're not picking up anything on our sensors already, since we've been,
Right.
scanning the area already, that would be the only. Unless
would've found
it's
something.
already pieced out, that
Correct.
would be the only.
As far as I know, we haven't scanned the nebula.
No,
No.
you guys are, you will have to get much closer. You
Yes.
are way out
We're
of
doing a
range.
sweep around the star cluster.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We should
good
probably
news
do a
is-
safety sweep just in case, but that's where I would go if I was making repairs on a ship.
No, so just to save some time, your scan of the area is what detected the bird of prey, and your further scans have not detected any other vessels in the
Yeah,
area.
that was what we were working on
Great.
during the meeting.
Great.
Got it.
So again, to reiterate, Kadak is being extremely cooperative, which is fantastic, and this could be a good thing. So because of this cooperation, if anybody here on the bridge has any ideas, any thoughts, any strategies, any information, anything, Jiv.
Yeah. Jiv stands up from the seat and he's like, Captain, I've been in Starfleet a couple of years now, and I know Klingons. If he's being cooperative, I would just be careful about that. Don't get me wrong, he seems like he's okay, but
Sure. Understood.
it's probably because he's got something he wants on that ship. And in this case, my guess, it's probably blood.
Understood. I'm well aware of that fact. Fortunately, some of those suspicions were, I guess, unconfirmed by an Admiral Nash by, in fact, confirming that the ambassador of the Federation was involved. And that means that likely that a Federation ambassador has been taken captive by the Cardassians, and this isn't a ploy for us to basically give a taxi to this Klingon to get to that ship for revenge. But I was thinking the same thing, but we are as well going to, be on our guard.
Jiv nods and just kind of tugs on his beard a little bit.
Okay, great.
So Admiral Nash was aware of this intelligence mission, sir?
Before I could finish my sentence, Rue. Yeah.
And he sent us on a scientific survey to the location of a sensitive intelligence mission without telling us.
Seems that he did.
So this isn't a case of the right hand not knowing what the left was doing. we were sent deliberately.
If I'm understanding your metaphor correctly, which I honestly, frankly, don't know if I am, yeah, I think you're right. Yes. I think you're correct.
I believe what Commander Rue is saying is that it is not logical for Admiral Nash to send us to the same location where a covert meeting was happening. He knew that the covert meeting was happening, and he sent us on this science mission at the same location.
You're absolutely making a good point. Let me speak with Kadak. I don't know if this meeting was supposed to take place here. It was supposed to have taken place somewhere else, and the ship and the battle or whatever it was that happened just ended up here.
Jiv,
I'm not sure.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because
I don't know.
It seems to me like the Klingons were ambushed.
Possibly. So maybe en route to the meeting place is where the ambush took place. I'm not sure.
But it's also worth noting that if you're a Klingon bird of prey and you're in Federation space, you're cloaked. Mm-hmm. So maybe this was the meeting spot.
Could be. I'm going to find out from Kadak, but that's going to be helpful for us to know.
Captain, on your order, I can get us close to the nebula and we can start beginning scans.
Yeah, we're going to stay at yellow alert. Let's head towards that nebula. Full impulse power.
All right, I'm going to get us as close as possible without us being noticed.
At full impulse, it'll take about 30 to 35 minutes to get to the nebula. No problem.
Bloop, sir.
Yeah.
If it comes to it, this isn't going to be an easy fight to win.
I'm not planning on there being a fight at all.
No one ever plans on a fight, sir.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, some people plan on fights.
Speaking of, let's go talk to some
Who's
people
going with
right
you?
now. Everybody's coming with me.
Everybody,
Lieutenant
senior
Commander
staff
Talon.
all in line.
Everybody get in here.
Lieutenant Commander Talon's going to come with me. I want Ensign Sage to continue piloting the ship.
I'll stay here.
Jiv will stay with you.
Open a communications
Jiv will
channel
stay
so she
here.
can hear.
Yeah, can you just keep me on the comm?
Of course.
I'm just kidding.
Can we
You
just
don't have to.
comms down to medbay so we don't have to leave the bridge?
I want to be there in person, as opposed to speaking with Kadak over some kind of just a voice thing. I want to be able to look him in the eye.
Yeah,
I want
there's a lot
to
you can
get some
learn from
information.
body language.
And that's why we're bringing the brilliant Vulcan, Lieutenant Commander Talon, on top of getting any sort of science information that we could use to help us with our location, with if the meeting place was supposed to be here, and of course I'm going to bring with me my commander.
All right, you got 30 minutes till we get there, so
Okay.
make it count.
You all walk into sickbay in time to see Matazi just lean up from a Klingon who's shoving his hand away. You see the Klingon is looking completely healthy now. The burns look like they've been regenerated on the side of his face. Matazi says, "I'm sorry, but I have to get that close if the tissue is going to regenerate properly. You Klingons are quite tough."
We're tough enough to not need this archaic medicine.
Well, if you're refusing treatment, I can't force you. And he puts his tricorder, folds it up, and then sees you all walking and was, Captain. He walks over to you and says, well, I'm happy to report that his injuries have been healed. He's going to be suffering some minor dull pains for a while, but for the most part, his redundant organs saved his life.
I'm sure he's not going to be suffering anything. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, I'll be in the office if you need me, sir.
Thank you. Great.
Sets the tricorder down and moves off.
I like Matazi. What about you guys? I like him. He's cool.
He is a
cool
well-trained medical officer.
He's a cool cat. Yeah.
Sorry, I squeaked.
He gets the job done.
Yes, he does. Kadak,
He's an
I hope you're feeling better.
Yes.
Kadak, I've got a question for you. This mission that you were on, was it supposed to take place here?
This was the coordinates of the meeting.
What can you tell us about this area? Is there anything that your science studies picked up? Is there any anomalies? Is there anything of noteworthy? About the nearby nebula, perhaps?
If you want, I can give you the information, and it'll be the information that's told.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Yeah, because this is something we didn't go over,
telephone.
so I can go ahead and just run this to you right now.
Great.
Or he may not even fully know that, right?
Well,
or let's just say he does.
this is what you would learn from this conversation.
Okay.
Is that essentially it looks like his vessel, which, by the way, as he's mentioned it before, is named the Majram, which was the name of his vessel. It was stationed here. It looks like the meeting, according to him, Kadak, what you tell the captain, is that this meeting spot, the meeting was supposed to take place yesterday. So, so essentially this wreck, even though that it is a recent event, basically you guys arrived early and you were on station waiting for the Cardassians to arrive. The way the encounter happened was when the Cardassians arrived, you decloaked and immediately communicated with the Cardassian the Cardassian Gull, who, by the way, I can give you their name, Gull Sarit, S-A-R-I-T. Everything was going just fine. And as the dialogue was beginning to open up and a meeting was discussed about coming on who was going to go on board what vessel, you were fired upon. It was very abrupt, but the Cardassians essentially opened fire. You got warning that their weapon systems were being armed. They didn't even bother raising their shields, so they basically tried to roll hard 6 to ambush you. They did everything they could to sort of get a sucker punch in before your tactical officer could know what was going on, and they succeeded. They were very skilled. They got in 1 torpedo hit against your hull.
Dishonorable.
Yes, they basically stabbed you in the back. When the fight broke out, to your credit, the Majram, even though it had been badly damaged and was near incapacitated, the ship was able to return fire and do some serious damage to the Galor. But not before the Galor class ripped your ship apart. While the fires were happening, before the decompressions took place, a strike team of Cardassians beamed on board, killed a few warriors in hand-to-hand combat, and took the ambassador and beamed back to the Cardassian vessel. And as they were fleeing, your captain ordered them to be rammed when the weapon systems went out, and then the ship popped. It's essentially how the encounter went.
Was the Federation Ambassador Nelu on the Klingon ship?
Was on the
taken?
Klingon ship.
Interesting.
So if that hasn't been communicated, then let me get this through.
Great.
The ambassador was working in tandem with Klingon Intelligence to set up this meeting and was on board this bird of prey for this meeting.
Okay.
And the Cardassians, when they betrayed the Klingons, immediately, it looks like their target was the Federation ambassador.
Great.
So they grabbed him and ran.
Great.
After they assumed that it looks, from what you got from the battle, Kadak, is that they didn't expect you guys to survive that opening volley. Not only did you survive, but you punched back hard enough to beat the crap out of them. So
It is the Klingon way.
Yeah, they kind of underestimated the Brel and the quick reaction time of your captain and her crew. So essentially, they were not expecting you to hit back as hard as you did, and you brutalized their ability to get away. But they did snatch the ambassador. They did flee.
Okay.
And that's essentially the play-by-play of what you remember before you blacked out from the explosions on the bridge.
Sir, we just helped the Cardassians.
I know.
This would provoke a diplomatic incident with the Federation.
You're absolutely right, Commander.
Jiv pipes in and says,
Wait, Jiv's is not.
"Oh, is Jiv not in the room? This is not on the bridge."
We had an.
Oh, you guys are in med. I'm sorry, you guys are in. I completely lost track of the
We
scene
had
for a
an
second.
open channel this whole
You're in.
time.
No, Matazi's not there.
Oh, right, he's left as well.
He's in the So Kadak, your instinct is, and we had discussed this before, it probably wasn't the civilian government. And you guys can actually contact Cardassia too.
Nope.
But
at this point,
that's an option as well.
I don't know what
Just
that
so you know,
would
the
do.
political
I think we
atmosphere
keep this
of the
quiet.
Cardassian government right now is the civilians are in control. They took control from Central Command. but the civilian government still has a lot of enemies. That's a possibility as well. Just letting you know what your intelligence officer would probably be
Could
privy
be
to.
a rogue faction within the Cardassian.
In any case, if
All
we...
sorts of potential bad actors.
Yeah.
You know one way to find out.
What's that?
Find this ship.
Oh, right. I thought you were gonna say contact Cardassian. I was like, no, that's not a good idea. I could really start some
Agreed,
shit.
sir.
Yes.
Let's
Hey guys, listen, you got our ambassador.
Yeah. Just
Please,
to
guys.
even to call them and just to be like, hey, just a heads up. Just a heads up. This is what went down. They might turn that around as something that would be horrendous.
It's very messy.
We'll
So-
let command and intelligence decide what they want to do with that information.
Lieutenant Commander, do you have any other questions to ask our ally Kadak about this event and what we're about to potentially get ourselves into? Yes.
I have
Alon,
a
go ahead.
question for the Trek knowledge, Cardassian specific. Would a rogue faction potentially be the former war criminals of Cardassia?
It's entirely possible.
Okay.
It's Cardassians are really good at keeping this under wraps, but there are a lot of players when it
Yeah.
comes to the Cardassians.
There's a lot of secret-
There's a lot of governments.
Yeah,
I mean,
secret
the
councils
Obsidian
still
Order alone
operating.
is worth mentioning.
There's a lot to keep up with.
So it
There's a
could
civilian
be-
government.
yeah.
There's the Klingons' claims right now that changelings have infiltrated the Cardassian government, and that's why there's an upheaval.
I mean, it's the same thing with like Federation and the Maquis and just everything else.
Kinda.
Right.
There's a lot.
It's just
The
like
Cardassian
post-war.
government.
Yeah,
The
it's
Cardassian
post-war
government is
faction.
aiming high right now. Like it's aimed in the right direction, but the Cardassian Empire is a mess right now.
Yeah.
And the Klingons attacking it is just making pure chaos. It's entirely possible. There are certainly a lot of gulls out there that were not pleased that a civilian government took over. Think of it like Soviet Russia becoming, evolving into like the Republic of Russia, or when it did after the Soviet Empire fell.
Yeah.
We
The Soviet
speculated
government.
about Cardassian politics. We could be here
Yeah,
till the 25th
I just
century.
wanted to.
I'm just
because
like in
more
character.
TNG.
Like
My TNG
so
knowledge
many.
is like 7 times more than my DS9 knowledge. So I just wanted to like.
That's actually the best way I can think about it. Think of it like the Soviet
Yeah.
like thing, and then the Russian Republic. Like
So it
think
still could be those war criminals, or it could be.
it's
other-
entirely
anyone
possible.
who's
There's just a lot of upheaval.
Power in Cardassia is complicit
The good
in
news
those.
is, if we ever come up against a weird pool of black goo that killed Tasha Yar, we're covered with the knowledge. We got it. But anything to deal with the Cardassians, we might need some info. Okay, great.
Okay.
No,
sorry.
yeah, we're
I do believe there's a
reciprocal.
television show on the Cardassians which we could watch to gain information.
Wondering how long that was going to take. All right.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Kadak, you want to join us on the bridge? We're heading to try to track down the Cardassian ship right now.
I have 2 requests.
Yes.
1, take me with you on the mission. 2, I do not like Federation food. Do you have any gach?
I think we can get some gach for you. Yeah.
We do have replicators that could potentially replicate a good simile to your Kadak.
Look, it might not be the real thing, but it's the same thing with Earth food. I'll be honest. You
Very
know how it
well.
is. You know
Thank
how it
you.
is. Okay, great.
Can I do an insight check
Sure.
on this guy?
You want to see if he's
Yeah, it feels
Messing with
like
you?
it feels like there's a hidden agenda.
then this would be insight and security.
All right.
Kadach.
And
What is
sorry.
your specialization? What did you do aboard ship?
insight and security?
What did I do aboard ship?
On board, so on board the
normal
Majram,
role.
Yeah.
you were second in command. You were a commander of that ship. Your skill set might not be. Probably shouldn't tell the feds what you do.
The
Did you
feds.
say
I was
the
second in
difficulty?
command.
You did say the difficulty. What was
I'm
it?
sure you're
Insight
Okay,
check?
so
familiar
you're
with
trying
that
to.
position.
Yeah, sorry,
Insight
insight check.
The difficulty is going to be 1, but it's going to be a contested roll.
Oh, okay.
So, Jason, your first roll of the game. All right, so
Do really badly.
Jason, you're going to make a control plus. I'm going to say control. Yeah, let's do control plus security check.
Okay.
Can we also take a crack at an
Baby blue,
insight?
2. You roll 2.
Let's resolve this first.
Okay, fine.
Come on, baby.
Difficulty is 1. Tell me how many has successes. Difficulty is 1. Tell me how many successes.
I got 1 crit and 1 not success. So 1
So
crit,
what's your
2 successes.
2 successes.
You have
One success.
one success.
One success.
All right.
Yeah,
So
or
how many
one-
successes do you have, Talon?
2 successes.
Okay, what would you like to know?
So we got 1 momentum.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll
one
give you momentum from that.
I want to know
That's a
if
win-win
he
for
has
everybody.
some other, besides what we already know about
Right.
this mission. He wants to go on this mission specifically. Does he have some other agenda besides what he has told us about getting the ambassador back?
It's hard to tell from his tone about that, but he does seem awfully hungry.
Hungry for God.
Hungry?
Hungry.
Physically hungry.
No, not like he wants
Okay,
food.
so
he
he wants
looks like
something
he's hungry to go on this mission.
Oh, okay.
He wants something
He,
else.
he, the intensity in his
That's
eyes when he said, "Take me with you,"
Yeah.
it felt like
saw it. I saw
it
it.
felt like it was really, really important to him
He wants a dish that's
that
so
he
cold.
that he go. He seems really. It's really, really important to him that he goes with you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rue. Make your check.
I mean, revenge. That's
So
what I
make your
meant.
check,
Revenge.
Jason. It's another control security check.
Two successes.
All right.
Wait.
Not now.
What was the? Yeah, no,
Four.
but what was your?
14.
What was your? Was control what?
Control versus.
It's
security.
control security.
So he has 3 successes because 1 is a crit.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait, why is?
Oh wait, no, never mind because he's not using focus. My bad.
Jeez, Bonnie.
I'm not gonna help him anymore.
right.
I was thinking he was
I'm on
using
your
it like
side.
a foundation focus or something.
I'm gonna go ahead, even though it's kind of a win-win for the crew here. I'm gonna go ahead and allow that to add 2 momentum to your pool because I have an army of threat over here,
Wait, so that's 1.
and I'm gonna be nice.
2, we're up to 5.
2. So you should have 5 momentum.
Did you have success?
No.
No, but Jason did. And technically, Jason is a part of the crew tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm your
So
buddy.
I'm being nice, GM.
Okay, thanks.
I'm giving you a
How's
momentum.
the hunt for in the nebula doing?
All right.
We're almost there. Actually, we're here.
No, no.
Are we on the bridge yet?
Can I?
Oh, slow down, everybody.
I want to tell him my insight.
All right. So
to tell
the
you.
insight check results.
Yes.
So it's hard to tell with the Klingon. In this particular case, you don't know if it's his standard intensity or if he actually wants something. So you don't actually glean anything off of it. But I will say that you do get the impression, just from your time being around him, Rue, is that he was your counterpart on board this ship, and you can only imagine why you might want to go. But you don't have anything to back that up. But Janelle is probably like, if I were a Klingon and I wanted to go on board that
Right.
ship,
I would definitely have to be Klingon.
and I was
to
the
feel those
commander
feelings.
of a Klingon vessel, why would
Yeah.
I want to go? So,
Yeah. But I'm Trill, so I would never feel that way at all, of course.
so Janelle's like, no, I wouldn't do that.
No, this is relatable content.
Okay. Back on board, you guys are, while this is taking place, you get closer and closer to the nebula.
I notify the captain.
Okay.
Captain,
Yeah.
we are approaching the nebula.
That's good. We're on our way to the bridge.
Jiv walks over and stands next to you at the helm, and he's looking out at the view screen, this big, beautiful, multicolored nebula up ahead. And he just says, hey, can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Your last engineer, the Zadis. That happened when you guys were in a nebula last time, right?
Yes, sir.
And Jiv just looks kind of darkly at this nebula for a second and just says, I don't like Cardassians, Sage. I don't like them.
Well, neither do I, and I have a feeling they probably wouldn't like me either.
Jiv doesn't say anything, but you just see him kind of dip his head for a second and says, yeah. And he moves away from you. And about that moment, the turbolift doors open and senior staff walks back onto the bridge, followed by, again, as I've always described, a very large Klingon. You all walk down the ramp, and Martinez, you take center chair as you see this big, beautiful nebula. Talon, as you slide into the science station, the sensors are ready for you. Sally is ready to start looking.
Let's fire up those scans.
Go ahead and make your roll.
I think momentum's probably going to go into this one.
Yeah. So
Scanning
you're
nebula,
scanning.
not
You're
the
scanning the nebula. Not only is there interference from the perimeter of the nebula, but
me
the
about it.
proximity. You are slightly closer to the star cluster, and at this point, it is making it a little more difficult on sensors. So I'm going to set the difficulty at 3, which will be dropped, of course, to 2, because the Sally Ride, as always, has incredible
And let's
sensors.
burn a momentum for an extra dice. And also, can you make sure to like scan for those particles so we don't time jump like last time?
Yeah.
If you don't-
we knew
if
they
you
were
don't
in
mind,
there, and we
just-
still went in. So
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, go check out the personal logs that went up on the GNS website. They're pretty amazing about our episode 0, referenced already by Jiv, but now again by Lark. So go ahead and make your roll.
Oops, that was. Oh, okay. 3 successes.
3 successes. So that's going to be 2 more momentum. Is that correct? Or
4 successes.
4 successes? You guys maxed out on momentum.
Woo! We need it.
Is there any? Do you want to spend any right away, or do you want to hear what you've got with?
Let's hear what we got.
Okay.
We hear it. I have 10 impressions.
Show me what you got.
Yes. Sure enough.
Someone watch.
It takes a few moments as y'all are moving. The Sally Ride is sort of moving on the outskirts of this nebula. Talon, it takes you a few minutes as you're running scan after scan after scan, constantly readjusting the sensors to compensate for the interference of the nebula and the interference coming from the star cluster. It's like a delicate little dance, a mini game, if you will, as you kind of just like play along.
The dance of the nebula.
Yeah, but with your aptitude, Talon is able to triangulate those sensors to pick up the undoubtable ion trail of a Galor-class Cardassian warship.
Now we're in business.
There is indeed a Cardassian warship out here, and she is limping. It looks like she's taken some pretty heavy damage from your initial scan. Immediately, you can tell that there is damage, and she is running with her shields down at half impulse power. If what intelligence knows about Galor classes is to be believed, there's a chance the Sally Ride has seen her before they have seen you, because of the sensor suite on board this Intrepid class starship.
Because we're still hanging back.
You guys got the long glass. Like,
Yeah.
you can see what's going on out there, and it's possible too with the proximity of the nebula that they haven't spotted you yet. Now,
Are their shields down?
the shields are down. Do you want to spend any momentum right now for any further information?
Captain, Rue.
I'm thinking, is there a way we could scan for an Asaurian life form and lock onto it and just beam the ambassador out right and hightail it out of there
I
before they even
like
know?
that.
My thought is we're probably too far to transport, but can we scan and at least
We could get
be
a
ready to
vector.
get a lock?
So,
Based on the trail.
what's your question? What do you want to ask?
Okay.
Can we
I like that. Scan.
Can we scan for the Asaurian
So,
life
how much
form
momentum are you
if we
spending
get
to
locked
ask questions?
One.
Because you
We can
get
get one from our studious.
you get one from studios, but you got to
that's
spend a
over here.
momentum. So you're going to spend 1 momentum for 2 questions.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay. So what's the question again?
can we?
Can we scan? We'd like to scan for life form.
No, an Asaurian life form.
So
and see if
does
we
the
can lock
scan
onto
pick
it.
up? Does the scan pick up a Saurian life form
Yes.
on board the ship? Yes.
All right.
There
Is
is a
there a way to-
Saurian life form on board the vessel. What is
Is
your
there
next
a way
question?
to lock onto it and transport it out immediately?
No.
Is
The
it-
interference from the nebula. The interference from the nebula. Is that what you were asking?
Well, yeah. Yes. No. It's cool. That was that question. I just have surrounding questions to that. Like, are we?
I'll let you spend more momentum if you want to know more. You can always burn momentum to gain more
Yeah.
information.
I wanna know if we're close enough to
the ship
transport.
closer.
Okay, let's do one at a time real quick.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We're just so excited.
Yeah, I know. This is all you, Talon. So,
Okay, so we're not close enough to transport. We know there's an Asaurian on board.
No, you're
This is
fine.
Good. Yeah. Stage, you're rocking
you're
it.
fine.
So Amy sympathizes. She knows I'm trying.
We're not quite close enough to transport.
You guys are on the fringes of your sensor range right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you are. You could do a long range transport, but if to again fall back on the question that I just answered, the interference coming from the nebula and the interference coming from just this proximity to the star cluster is making transportation, like using the transporters here, is not recommended.
Yeah, I think my question is now a different thing. It's
Okay.
about-
Do you
I'll
want to
just
spend more
talk
momentum for more?
Well, let me just talk to ask my crew. So this is what we found. We see that.
Just so you know, if you're going to turn into them and come to a decision, I'm going to rule that the roll will pass.
Oh, okay.
So this is information you're getting from the scan right now. So if you want real quick to ask a question, I'll let you do it.
What direction are they heading in?
It looks like right now they're on station keeping. So it looks like they're moving at half impulse power, but they don't seem to have a precise heading, and they're certainly not pointed in the direction of the Cardassian Empire. It looks like they were aiming for the nebula, but they are creeping along.
Are they? But they're in the nebula, right?
No, they are on the. They are not in the nebula.
I'm sorry. I thought they were in the nebula.
No. They are on the boundaries of the nebula. You guys can see them visually if you open up the view screen and magnify.
On view screen, Captain.
They are not. They are not in the nebula.
Then I'm good. Okay, thank you.
Clarification question. You said that their shields are down?
Yes, their shields are down. And if you bring up the view screen, you can also see. It almost looks like a string.
Put it on the view screen.
On the view screen, Captain.
At full magnification, you can see. It looks like she's actually. Judging, it's funny because you can't really list in Star Trek, but it looks like the ship is off its axis slightly, and a trail of what looks like glitter almost coming out the back of the vessel. Visible combat damage all over the hull, and you can see visibly 2 hull breaches. It looks like that Burrell, he wasn't joking when they got in punches. Sensors are detecting that they are not running with their shields up at all. They are running at half impulse power, and there is a Saurian on board.
In the sense that they don't have their shields up, or that their shields are disabled?
You could try to run a scan.
Okay.
But that would take another scan, and I'm going to raise the difficulty.
That was what I was trying to determine. Okay.
I have a lore question, and I'm not referring to the villain lore,
Fire
but
away.
actual Star Trek lore.
What's up?
Does transwarp beaming exist? And
Nope.
if so, doesn't exist?
Not yet.
Not yet?
You mean beaming at warp speed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Only if you're matched at warp and their warp's disabled.
I would rule that it does exist. I don't recall seeing that in Star Trek recently, so I would say it does exist because I know Scotty came up with it. But I would say that would be a hell of a roll.
I recall you have to be at matched
It is possible.
warp speeds in order to do it.
Really?
And this ship is incapable of warp.
But not to slam the Abrams movies, but in this, it is not possible to beam from Earth to Kronos. Let's put it that way.
All right, that one, that's a fair slam.
Right, okay,
but
I'm just saying.
But in the first one, what was it? They beamed from the ice planet that was near Vulcan to the Enterprise as it was
warp.
it was in warp. Because
I'm going to rule that's kind of an extraordinary stretch to Star Trek.
Nobody thought to think of space as a thing that was moving. Is what it was.
Which I love that line. That was really cool.
Ensign Sage.
I love that encounter.
This is just me in game for just figuring out what we need to ask the game master in general. This is what we need to find out. So as of right now, we cannot just transport him out because of the interference and whatnot. We need to find out is if we move Sally Ride closer, can we transport? But at the same time, with that obviously a giant ship coming at them, they're going to see us.
Yeah.
Is there a way to possibly maneuver a shuttle close enough without them seeing it? If we can find a blind spot, if their shields are down and transport the ambassador out that way, is that a little too risky?
I worry that putting a shuttle out there is what's the phrase I'm trying to think of right now?
Risk is our business?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's going to make me do stuff I normally wouldn't do.
I just kind of poke Martinez every now and then. What would Kirk do?
Sitting duck. It would be a sitting duck. It would be
a sitting duck?
Or
Sally can hope to combat a damaged Galor class. There is no chance that our arrowing could. Or Rue would not advise it.
Let me put it this way. The damaged state that this Galor is in, she would be at a significant disadvantage if she got into a fight with the Sally Ride.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Are we at an extreme range, long range?
You're extreme range right now.
Okay.
And
so we're not even within weapons range yet.
I will also just briefly add that if they're sitting and totally just not able to really move or defend themselves properly, then they probably have help on the way.
I am rewarding myself one threat.
I know. Yeah, I knew. Yeah. I figured at this point, I might as well just
It's
say
okay.
it, 'cause we're already
Do what you got to do. This is part of the game.
At a certain point, he's just there's more threat than me.
Yeah.
We already
we gotta
gave
figure
him
it out.
the threat.
Let's
Let's just talk it out.
It's fine.
How are we going to play this?
But
All right.
How are we going to play this?
sir,
Yeah.
we have them at a tactical disadvantage. We come in with weapons up.
Weapons up?
would that put?
Rue's like, I know how to solve this problem, Captain.
Would that put us as Starfleet though, at a disadvantage since we are because if this backfires on us, could they potentially change the story and say Starfleet attacked?
They can say whatever
where-
story they want.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like this.
not shooting.
This
But
could
that
be
story could have an adverse
bad
effect
for
on
us.
the
With-
delicate galactic
everything
balance.
is a very delicate balance.
Yes, Kadak.
I have a suggestion. The hull is breached in several places. What if we sent a small tactical team inside to grab him and get out before anyone knew?
Sir.
It sounds risky. Very risky. And I have a feeling, Kadak, that you're itching to get in there.
Do not forget I am on Klingon. I am from Klingon Intelligence. Yes, I am a warrior, but also I am trained in the arts of intrigue and stealth.
I'm sure. Absolutely.
Talon raises her eyebrows and watches the Klingon closely.
Jiv says, well, Captain, I can tell you that if we try and transport, it's just as risky. With the interference of the nebula. Plus, I don't know the condition of their ship, so I don't know what we're up against.
And
but
we can beam passengers aboard with our shields up, right? Or no?
no, we'd have to lower shields before we beam someone on board.
Ooh,
Ensign Sage.
we still have the Orion slave ship, Captain.
The
What
dump
if,
shuttle?
the
You
dump
hear Shiv
shuttle.
say with a
What
laugh.
if- well, I'm just saying, what if we sent it out almost as a decoy and had and distracted the Cardassians with that while the Sally Ride comes up from behind and beams the ambassador out?
Then they would
Just
think
want to
it's
state
wrong.
again that beaming is not a good idea here.
Oh, even if we were closer?
Look, the interference from the nebula doesn't seem to give a damn how close we are. I'm just telling you what I'm up against if we get
Here's
close.
what I want to know if it would be a good idea. And I need everybody, including the Klingon, to let me know if this would be a good idea. We hail them.
Yeah.
We try to grab them in our tractor beam. We offer assistance to a damaged Cardassian ship. We were not part of this negotiation. We're a Federation. We're fine with the Cardassians. Why couldn't we offer assistance? Their shields are down, get close enough, get our ambassador, and then if they have survivors aboard that do need the assistance before their Cardassian allies can arrive, help them.
Well-
but bring them aboard a brig, for example, just in
Captain,
case.
Are you suggesting that we
Lie? Yes, we lie.
play dumb?
Correct, Talon.
Then I suggest
That's
we do
the
not
phrase.
have a Klingon on the bridge, no offense.
But to make sure I'm out of the sight of the cameras.
Jiv goes, but didn't they kidnap a Federation ambassador? I mean, why wouldn't they just run the moment we hail them?
Well,
Because we can catch them.
Because
And then what?
they'll assume that we don't know that they have a Federation ambassador.
If we
hail them offering
Right.
assistance,
Yeah.
their shields are down, we just lock on to that ambassador's signature and pull him out. And as soon as we do,
Can I
shields
just
up.
once again state that if you have me beam him out, I don't know how that's going to go.
How close can we get where you'll know that it'll go fine?
It won't. The distance isn't going to matter. The interference from the nebula is not going to cooperate.
Shiv,
we
you're
need to
killing
go
me.
in.
Captain,
and
I'm sorry, it's the
think
best
that
I
is
can
the best
do.
plan,
Captain.
I think we go.
What if
I
we-
don't need. I need an away team for this mission.
What if we lie and say that we're there to help and tractor beam them away from the nebula until it's a safe distance for us to beam the ambassador aboard, and then hightail it out of here?
Would they cooperate?
If the,
Kadak,
if
would they
the inter-
cooperate?
Let's find out.
They're Cardassians, they're not to be trusted.
Cardassian.
I thought you would say.
If the interference of the nebula is also affecting their sensors, then they're probably having difficulty mending their ship. So
Either
tractor
way, we
beaming
need
them
to
away
help
from the
them.
nebula and pretending to offer to help could be
Yeah.
a way of getting us.
I actually like a part of that plan, Ensign Sage. I think that we're going to incorporate that as far as we can incorporate it. And if we are forced to not be able to tractor beam them, our ambassador, then we will send an away team to them. You're saying, Shiv, that we can beam on their ship and not vice versa?
No, I'm just
Oh.
saying that
Shuttlecraft
if we
is the
use
way to go?
any kind of beaming technology,
Gotcha.
unless it's possible that being in close proximity of the ship, but I mean, you'd have to be almost touching it. It's possible that I could get you guys over there without too much trouble.
As for
but
instance, if we were rendering aid to a damaged vessel.
And if they were to allow us to do that,
no,
we could get very close.
I mean, literally, you'd have to almost be touching their vessel. I would need to be as close as possible. Like we'd have to dock with them.
And at that point,
for me to beam them over.
We might as well just send a shuttlecraft over to
Tractor
get
beaming
our.
them away from the nebula might be our best bet if they agree to it, if they don't suspect.
I think that we do not need a shuttle or a tractor beam. It seems that if we use the captain's decoy method of playing dumb and lying and saying we do not know what happened,
I'm rewarding myself a threat.
then I think we should approach the ship, the
I agree.
Cardassian ship.
In any case, lives might be in danger right now, so we need to approach the ship, full impulse power, shields up, yellow alert, and hail them. Ensign Sage, do everything I just said.
Yellow alert.
Captain, should I not remove myself?
Yeah,
you want to
that
head
too.
into my quarters? Head
do
into
you
my
hide?
quarters.
You don't have to duck from the screen. You can literally just move aside from the bridge, and they won't spot you.
If they,
It's up to you. I can have some Klingon food delivered to my quarters.
There have been plenty of instances in Star Trek where there's somebody on the bridge that can't be seen and wasn't.
Yeah, it
Because
was
you can
I
control.
could eat my gawk on the bridge. Is food allowed on the bridge, Captain?
Actually, I'm not a huge fan of that.
Very well. I should
Okay, great.
eat it in the ready.
I appreciate that.
With the
It's
door
my
open so I
ship
can
and-
observe what's happening. And
That's
eat
fine.
at the same
Just
time.
put a little trash
Like I'm
bin
watching a
next to
movie.
yeah, exactly.
One of your Earth movies.
It'll be a little weird because you'll be off on the side, not a great view, but you'll get the gist of it.
I can hear.
There might be a
Turn the volume up.
Sure.
We're doing everything. We're doing the thing.
Yellow alert! Hailing frequencies open, Captain. I
was reaching for more threat.
Eating golf. Everything is happening. Buttons are pressed and hailing, Captain.
I'm pressing
yes.
buttons. Okay,
Doc, just eat your. Yes, that's fine.
you begin to quickly approach at full impulse power. Shields are up. As you begin to close in, the first thing you notice is the Cardassian vessel doesn't seem to react. And the closer you get, it's the same. They're holding course, half impulse power, slightly off axis, and continuing forward.
Okay.
You hail them.
Hailing, Captain.
There's no reply.
No reply, Captain.
Send a message starting now.
Sage, I need you to make I'm going to say a control plus ops, con ops roll.
Awesome. Okay.
And
What's the
Sally,
difficulty?
what's that?
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty's 1.
Cool.
And the Sally Ride can use her. Oops. Let's see. What is she?
Is this a
use?
computers or helm
This is definitely going to be. This is going to be. This is going to be a sensors con check.
Okay, so I can't use my helm or computers.
No, this is for the Sally Ride.
Oh, got it.
The sensors.
Yes.
So that means it's down 1 difficulty. So it's difficulty 1.
Yeah.
Great.
Correct.
Sweet. Sensors con.
I have a success.
Then yours. What's your roll?
20.
20.
Oh, no good.
That's bad.
Look,
Okay. But I
more
got
threat
it.
than he can possibly spend at this point, y'all.
Guess what that means?
I'm not even tripping.
I'm giving them initiative.
Shih Tzu.
Sage, what you thought you were detecting at first to be a course correction in the Cardassian vessel is actually an aft torpedo that you detect immediately being armed. Rue, your console goes off. It looks like they're pulling, for lack of a better way of describing this, they basically pull on you what they must have pulled on the Mirage. On the, I'm sorry, the Klingon Burrell.
Majram.
Mirage. Majram.
Captain, they are not hailing back. They are loading a torpedo.
No, you get
maneuvers.
the words "Captain" out before a torpedo fires on
Captain,
the Sally Ride.
That.
All right. Here we go, gang.
Oh boy. Combat.
Space combat
that's
has begun.
Is the red thingy heading towards the green thingy?
There's a red thingy.
Are we the
headed
green thingy?
Towards the green
We are at
thingy.
full shields, though.
I think we're the green
We have-
thingy.
but we are at full shield, so we have
Yes,
an advantage.
you guys
Okay.
do have shields
Okay.
up. That is absolutely the case.
Can I maneuver fast enough to move out of the
That
I-
will be possible when it is your turn.
crap?
But as of right now, we are launching into a
Ship combat. Let me find.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so turn your manuals to page. Holy crap, we should have prepared.
man,
And
this is
we
a
shall
shit
begin.
show.
Ship combat. Here we go. Minor actions, tasks. All right. I'm going to spend.
Ship.
Only Sandra's gonna hate me for that one.
Excellent. I'm going to say tactical. I have to pull out the dun dun dun.
Why do I not have that? Oh, it's probably in my folder that's holding up. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Oh, this is going to. Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Crap.
All right, guys. We were like, before we left us to Star Trek Las Vegas, Sam and I were like, you know what we should do before we have our next game? We should really go over ship combat so we make sure we know exactly what we're doing. Guess what didn't happen? But that's okay, because I actually reviewed it, so we are in okay shape. Especially considering... Okay. Da-da-da-da. I'm going to spend 2 points of threat here. All right, stand by. Here we go. Okay. So, Galor class. There you are. 9. Oh, correction.
Uh-oh.
The Galor class does not have torpedo launchers.
Oh, never mind.
So it
Captain.
will actually be a long-range, extreme-range shot with the phaser array.
Okay. Long or extreme?
It's going to be, it's no, at this point it's long. You guys closed in on full impulse power.
Okay.
Closer.
Yeah. So this is not going to be easy on
So
them.
it's a higher difficulty.
That's
Fine.
correct.
But it's not too high.
Okay.
And can I
Plus we have
evasive
damage,
maneuver
though.
this or not?
You will when I have you roll, but this is what happens because I rolled 2 complications.
Oh.
So this is what happens. As you all close in, you watch as the ship begins to maneuver, and before you get the words "Captain" out, when you see the red-orange glow of a phaser array firing aft off of this right towards the Sally Ride. Not only does the array go wide, almost as if perhaps their targeting was off, but within moments you detect, and I'm only giving you this because they rolled one more complication than you did, but you detect their phaser array shorts. Essentially, the combat damage this ship has sustained has put it, again, at a tactical disadvantage to the Sally Ride. So the phaser... And then you watch as the ship begins to maneuver and try to make a run for it.
Oh no, that's not happening. That is not happening.
So I'm going to hand initiative over to you guys. You're technically not in combat anymore,
All right.
as it looks like their weapon systems, at least their facing weapon systems, are now offline.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah, again, a testament to the damage that the Brel caused. I also rolled 2 20s.
Wow.
So I don't
a
know
night for
what's going on
20s.
tonight.
Night for 20s.
The one good thing about them trying to make a run for it is obviously we can outrun them easily, is that they're getting away from the nebula to where we could potentially beam out the ambassador.
What heading are they?
They're running adjacent to the nebula, not running away from it.
Oh.
It looks like they've adjusted their course. When they were trying to when they were on their initial course, it looks like they were kind of sliding adjacent into the nebula. Now it looks like they're aiming straight.
parallel
Yeah, they're
through
doing
it.
parallel
Okay.
course to the
Okay.
nebula.
Ensign Sage, catch up to them. Try to keep up with these Cardassians
Very easily, sir.
and lock onto them with our tractor beam. They're not getting away.
Yes, Captain?
Okay.
Very close
Tractor
to
beam
that
locked?
tractor beam, sir.
Oh man.
Oh, wait.
Pulling out the ship rules. Yeah, so this is going to be a Sally Rides roll, all right. Yeah, Sage, this is going to be you.
I can definitely keep up
This is
with
an
them.
ops
That's
roll.
the easy part.
All right.
What am I doing? The tractor beam?
Yes, so this is going to be a structure plus.
Using my dock and watching.
I'm going to say this is a structured con roll
For Sally.
for the Sally Ride. Yes,
Structured con.
structure and con.
And then for me? Or that's it? I'm just rolling for
No,
Sally?
for you. No,
Oh, okay.
no. Not. You're going to make a. This is going to be a control con roll. This is what you
Great.
do. Yeah.
And is this a helm systems or computers for one
No.
of my focuses?
I'll let you know what. I'll give you. No, this would not be the one. This
Okay.
would not be a trend. This is
And
specifically.
then what is the difficulty?
Difficulty on this? Difficulty on this is going to be 3.
I'm gonna burn one of these guys.
I'm going to burn 2 of these guys to increase the threat range by 2.
Great.
So now if you roll an
18,
18 or higher, it's complications.
Okay, so, and Sam, are you rolling for Sally? Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Oh wait, so that means it's difficulty 2 because Sally's assisting?
No,
it's not a census
this is not a
roll.
census roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
criminy. Okay,
Yeah,
here we go,
and this
everybody.
is not. This is one of her weakest rolls.
Come on, Ensign.
By the way, I'm guessing when I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Martinez.
We're
and
at
say,
red alert.
3 successes.
Yes, I was going to say, we're at red alert. I'm taking it since you were just fired upon.
4 successes.
4 successes.
4 successes. With
I'll
her
put that
shields
momentum.
down, there's not much she can do.
Yeah.
The Sally Ride locks onto her at, I'm going to say at this point, because you're moving full impulse, I'm going to say at this point you're medium range.
Okay.
The Sally Ride locks onto her, and that ship comes to a stop. It goes. You see that list that sort of like off axis actually levels out a little bit, and you have her.
Shall I try hailing again, Captain?
Absolutely.
Let's see if they listen this time.
Okay.
Hailing?
Up on the screen, you see a Cardassian, a gull. Must be Gull Saret. Older looking man, sitting proudly in the captain's chair, greets you with a small smile and says, I am Gull Saret of the Krival.
Go, hi, I'm Rafael Martinez of the USS Sally Ride.
How can we be of assistance?
I think I should be asking you that question. It seems that you've got some malfunctioning phaser arrays on your hull. There was a shot that went wide right past my ship.
Fortunate for you, Captain.
I'm incredibly fortunate. Unfortunate for you, too. It could have started an intergalactic incident if you had accidentally hit me.
Indeed.
You seem to be in some trouble. Well, fortunately, we're here to help. Looks like your shields are down. Your weapons are malfunctioning. I don't know if you have injured crew people aboard or if you need any sort of medical attention, but believe me, we have state-of-the-art medical facilities here on this ship. If you need anything from us, we can beam you aboard. We can escort you back to Cardassia or a nearby Cardassian outpost, whatever it is that you need. Gull Saret, you said it was?
That's correct, Captain
Martinez. Rafael Martinez. That's right.
Captain, thank you. Yes, it's unfortunate that we fired on you out here when you're damaged. It's entirely possible that pirates or other unsavory people might show up.
You know, we heard a report of an unsavory incident, and in fact, we're missing an ambassador. The Federation. Could there have been a chance? Beyond all chances, Gull Saret, this would be incredible. Were you this ambassador's savior? Was this ship the one that was able to rescue our ambassador from danger, from death?
He sits back in his chair.
You would be heroes of the Federation.
He sits back in his chair and says, I believe I understand you, Captain.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Now, let's discuss why you're going to let us leave.
I would love to do that, Gal, as soon as I get our ambassador aboard.
Gull.
Apologies. Gull.
Accepted.
Thank you.
Sir, should I ask the squadron and the nebula to stand down?
Absolutely. You can ask the squadron and the nebula to stand down.
Do you want to make a bluff check?
Yes. I'm just having a nice conversation with Gull. Gull Saret.
Should I ask 11th Fleet to stand down?
I like that a lot. Good call. That's good.
All right, Rue.
Can you consider a squadron intimidating? Just,
Yeah.
as a general principle?
No, this isn't an intimidation check. This is totally a deception check.
They could be both.
If you succeeded, then I would let you make an intimidation check. But right now,
I have no further.
we'll see. I'm going to say this is going to be a presence command.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
I'm going to take a momentum for this, y'all.
Oh, yes.
We're down to 4.
I'm not. I'm going to burn 2 as well.
All right.
I've got to burn 3, actually.
Yeah.
doesn't like me.
You're not gonna be happy.
We'll see. Maybe.
Gotta get bluff.
He could roll high. He could roll high. We don't know yet. We don't know. Don't mess.
All right, how many successes?
4.
He does not look fooled.
Okay.
He has all that threat to burn.
I was gonna say it's a good thing I spent that. He
Yeah, you can just wait. You can roll. It's totally fine.
he says, "We've been out here long enough making repairs to know there is no one in that nebula."
Well, fortunately for you, like I said, we just happened to be in the area performing routine science scans on Star Cluster 847 Beta. So yeah, as soon as we could get that ambassador aboard, then we can have that nice conversation that you wanted to have.
You're making a lot of conclusions, Captain. You're skipping over the part where I have your ambassador, and therefore, as you humans like to say, all the dice? All the cards.
Does he? We have no proof of life.
I think the phrase you're thinking of, Gull, is all of the balls are in your court. That's the human phrase that you're thinking of. For future reference, all of the balls are in your court. And unfortunately, I have you by the balls, because the thing that you skipped over is that I have your ship in tow. And we are slowly moving away from this nebula. So either way, we're going to get our ambassador. Either way, it's literally just a matter of time. Unless you were to do something as foolish as maybe harm him, or if he were to somehow accidentally get hurt, which would be really, really bad.
I would make his death painless.
You don't want to test me. You're going to fail. You're going to fail.
Well, let me be honest with you, Captain.
I want to have that conversation with you, Gull. I really do. I want to let you go.
I believe you. And I believe that you would take action if we were to harm the ambassador. I also think that we wouldn't stand a chance against you if you were to do so.
That is true. Those are facts.
And I'm still telling you, you'll release us, or we will kill him.
Here's how this is.
Because Central Command should never have lost control of Cardassia. And we do not need Federation allies. We can find allies elsewhere.
I'm not saying that you do. I don't care about that. All I care about is that we're losing one of our guys.
Well, my
That's all that I
problem,
care
Captain,
about.
is that I do care about that. And when I parade your ambassador in front of everyone, they will see, the Klingons will see, that in truth the Federation is turning Cardassia into puppets for their own gain.
Well, the thing is, Gull, I'd love to help you, but your problem is not my problem. It isn't. I don't disagree with your politics. I really don't. I really don't. I'm telling you right now, man to man, I don't disagree with your politics. But if any harm befalls this man, or if you take him, you think you're going to take him back to Cardassia, I'm in the process right now. We're hauling you all the way back to Starfleet. All the way back.
Yes,
right
your time is running out.
now. No, we've got you. That's it.
I'm giving you 2 minutes to release us from the tractor beam, or I'm going to execute this ambassador and
if you
commit
execute
my
him-
men to death.
If you execute him, Gull, I will personally take you and every single person that you have on that crew as war criminals, and you're going to come with me to Starfleet headquarters. It's as simple as that. And you will answer to the Federation.
I'm prepared to show you that it is not simple as that.
It is as simple as that.
Then show us. I
So
really
be-
need an inside check on this guy.
Yeah, do you want to make an insight check?
Yes,
Go ahead.
desperately.
Okay.
I'm spending another momentum, you guys. This is
Sure,
driving
but this
me
is going to be Rue's game.
Okay.
Because this is where the commander and the captain do the talking.
He's acting
So-
like he has something, and all he has is vague politics.
Do you want to
There's
do you want to
something
do an
that he
inside
thinks
check
is
as well?
Are we moving away from the nebula? That's all I want.
You are.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are towing him away from the nebula.
Great.
Is there the thing where I can give you my insight to use? What's that thing? Collaboration?
No,
that's
you're
a
not.
discipline thing, and it only.
There is nothing you can do to help
It's a
Rue
different-
determine if somebody is
I'm
bluffing
gonna
right
take
now.
him
That's what I want to do. Is there any way, while all this is going on, for Civ and I to know immediately when we're in transporter range, or to where we can transport him?
You'll let us know. You'll let us know as soon as we can.
Yeah, but I'm asking like Eric. Like, is there a way for us to know that as we're moving away from the nebula, we're getting
Let me just put it this way. Jiv, not being a robot, just same as you, he is also looking for the opportunity to get that Sarin out of there.
Exactly. This is all, we're just extending a conversation.
Jiv is in the same, Jiv is in the same position as you. While Martinez is delaying and talking to this Cardassian, he's sitting there just watching
So he and I can be just
watching.
literally just waiting to. The minute he beams him aboard, I can just like warp out of there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your
Just
insight
like
check.
making a right.
So I'm taking momentum for this.
Okay, we're spending a momentum. We're down to 3.
Because otherwise I have 0 hope.
Drop shield.
Spending a momentum.
Yes.
What was the difficulty on this?
The difficulty is 1, and then it's a contested roll.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
So tell me a success.
So we get a momentum. I rolled 2.
Okay, you succeed.
Yes.
All right.
What is the insight? What does Rue insight tell me?
Rue, he is dangerous. This guy, no. I'm not saying he's lethal or that he's a bad guy. I'm saying he is a zealot.
Yeah, he's.
And he looks like he's the type of captain that would probably blow up his own ship before he was allowed it to be taken captive by the Federation. He looks like he's the type of Cardassian that would probably annihilate his own crew with his own bare hands before he allowed a Fed to take anybody captive. And is a really good chance that he is not in any way bluffing, that he will drag the ambassador up onto the bridge and execute him. You're also getting a sense too that when I say dangerous, what I'm really trying to drive home to Rue from this role is that tactically, he is your equivalent. He's not a fool. He's looking 3 moves ahead right now, and he's also trying to play the angle. He also knows your instinct tells you he probably knows he's being dragged away from the nebula right now. So he's you don't know what he's getting at unless you want to spend more momentum, but he's playing the game same as Hector. So he's got something going on.
Yeah, I really want and obtain information because I want to know what the card is he thinks he has up his sleeve.
You can burn a momentum to ask a question.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay,
talking
so
about.
you're
That's
gonna
what
do
I'm
it?
talking to the group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your question specifically? What's he got up his sleeve?
What does he think his trump card is?
You're not entirely sure. There's no way you could just know from interacting with him, but he seems confident enough in whatever he's got going on that if he has to, he can force his hand and stop the plan that Martinez has got going on right now. He seems confident that being dragged away from the nebula is not going to stop him. Now, whether that's true or not, you don't know, but he seems very confident that he can do something about this.
I have a feeling I know what it is. I have a feeling that this guy just has nothing left to lose, and those are the most dangerous types of people.
He definitely is coming off like
Ideology.
like a cornered animal is what he's coming off like, and his zealotry is kicking in. So he has become a very dangerous opponent.
Not really someone who thinks 3 moves ahead.
This is difficult. You can't logic. You can't apply logic here.
Not necessarily, Talon. Let's see if we can. Gulcerit, let's have this conversation. It seems clear to me that I'm speaking to a man who knows the position that he's in, and who knows his value, and who is willing to go to extreme lengths to ensure that his position is secured. Am I right in saying that? You obviously know what you're doing, Gul.
Get to your point, Captain.
Here's my point. You may think that you're cornered. You may think that you don't have any options. And you may think that Cardassia can survive without you. And there's where you're wrong. I said earlier, I don't disagree with your politics, Gul. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you do something as brash and probably to your point of view, brave, as sacrificing yourself and your crew to ensure that the Federation doesn't get their way, you would be martyrs, certainly, but Cardassia would lose a brilliant tactician. I'm not just trying to kiss your ass here, Gul, okay? I don't disagree with what you're doing with Cardassia, but they need you. And here's how this is going to play out. In any case, I'm going to get the ambassador, unless you literally drag him up to the bridge and slit his throat in front of me before I can beam him out of there. That I confess. That is true. That is a possibility that could happen. But all that would do would ensure that you would either be arrested or that you yourself would blow up your own damn ship. I'm going to offer you an alternative, okay? You allow us to collect our ambassador. You I'm sure, already have Cardassian allies on their way to help you. Your ship is failing, but your crew people, they may need help. They may need medical attention. Something happened here. I'm not going to know what it is, wink, wink, but something happened to you and your ship. So the alternative is you let me get my ambassador, and you and your crew, a vital crew in the things that Cardassia is dealing with right now, are able to go back, reassess, replan, and do what you need to do again. You'll have another opportunity. Your supervisors, your leaders will have somebody who can help them again instead of never again.
So your argument is live to fight another day.
That is exactly my argument. Gul Saret, you can either live to see a free Cardassia, a powerful Cardassia, or you will die never knowing its fate. Those are your options. Those are your options, honestly, because it's going to be one of those two things. I'm either going to get my ambassador or not, and if I don't, you will die or be arrested. And you don't want that, and I don't want that. If you want to leave, I will let you go right now if I get my ambassador. But that's the only way. That's it. And if I get my ambassador,
let us go if we give you the ambassador.
Yes. Can I make myself any clearer? That's all I care about, because you know why?
Out of curiosity, real quick.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what do you think about that?
Kadak is conflicted because Kadak is marveling at the captain's political and communication prowess, but at the same time, Kadak.
You're looking into the face of the gull who basically betrayed and destroyed your ship.
Yes, and killed my captain. At the same time, being a member of Klingon Intelligence and understanding all of the ins and outs of this, going against every warrior instinct that he has, he's letting this play out.
Yeah,
because for as much as he wanted to go in there and
you got to be Worf in this situation, basically.
Yes, for
you got
as
to think
much
beyond.
as Kadak wanted to enter the ship and recapture the ambassador and perhaps kill a dozen or so Cardassians along the way, he understands the larger picture here.
There's like hand indentions.
Anyone who might be glanced over Kadak at this point, you will see an impressively restrained Klingon who is clenching
the fork for his
his dick
tastes pretty good.
The dick top at his side is being gripped with white knuckles.
Our table has like nail indentions in it.
As this exchange is happening, Lark, you almost you and Jiv, you do the exact same thing at the same moment. When you see the readout, and you both just go looking at each other from across the bridge. You need to. He just nods to the captain and goes and just keeps going back.
Could I accidentally mute the?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna mute and turn my face away so it doesn't look like I. So the captain of the Cardassian ship does not see me speaking, but just like very cautiously, Captain, we can beam him out now if we want. And then,
Keep nodding as though I'm giving orders.
Do it. Please try it right now, please.
all right. So we just like Jiv and I just
Okay.
just try.
Jiv is gonna make a roll.
All three of those momentum for another 2 dice because we really want to make this roll. I don't even know the difficulty. I feel like we still want it.
Because we, I mean, I would say
Eric's
we've locked on to
gonna like
him.
do the thing.
Are you burning 3 momentum?
Yes.
I don't know. Wait, what's the difficulty? What's the difficulty to beam him on?
We're gonna get there.
I know.
Gonna get this.
I'm just difficult. Okay, yeah. All momentum. Okay.
Difficulty is gonna be 4.
If there was like one, can I assist?
Yes.
Okay.
The difficulty is gonna be 4. I'm going to spend 3 momentum to raise the complication range by 3.
All right.
All right. So 17, 18,
So we may
19.
end up with like ambassador mush.
And what am I rolling? Control,
This is a high risk maneuver.
control engineering or no control? Yeah, control engineering. Daring engineering.
And for you,
Yeah.
oh man,
For the assist.
this is
It's pretty daring.
This
I'd
is
say,
I'm gonna say
to do that.
for Sage. You did give the order, right? Because this is a high risk maneuver. No way is Jiv doing this
Yes.
unless his captain tells him
I
to.
There's
gave
definitely a
the
ventriloquism
order.
act happening.
All right. Okay. You know, I am going to make this daring. I'm going to make it daring, and I'm going to make it engineering.
All right.
Right, and this is computers con
Here
again?
you go.
What's that?
Transport?
Con.
Yeah, computers con?
Yeah.
Cool.
Here we go.
I like that.
I guess my focuses doesn't help on this, huh? Computers? No.
What's that? No. It's not going to help.
Well, it's a success regardless.
What did Sally get? One success? You got one success?
Uh-huh.
Shiv got 2 successes.
We did it! Did we?
Wait, did I miss something? I thought the difficulty was 4.
Difficulty was 4.
So we got 4.
Shiv got 2 successes.
That's 3, right? Am I crazy?
I got 1 and Sally got 1.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Sally got 1 success. Shiv rolled very well. He is to be commended.
Better than 2 successes, honestly.
Okay.
Oh, disappointed.
No complications though, so that's all we can ask.
We'll run some schematics later, but for right now, we got an alive ambassador who's not inside out and exploded.
Do we?
I'm just going to say this. As your GM, that was a gutsy fucking move. That's the second highest difficulty I can throw at you, with complication range increased by 3.
Well, I do know someone who is
And
egging
Shiv
on our
didn't-
captain about risk being our business.
Yeah, Jiv did not have any focus that was going to help him there, and neither did Lark. So that was gutsy.
Yeah, but for some reason my daring is really high, even though I look stupid.
And I had a lot of threat. I'm just saying that was a gutsy roll. I want y'all to know what you just did could have gone very wrong. But well done, because you did it.
What do you expect? It's the Sally Ride crew.
So you see, as you're in the middle of talking, all of a sudden you see this blue stream on the bridge, no less. Just and the ambassador appears.
And I'm immediately putting shields back up.
The Sarin ambassador looks beaten to hell, and he's not wearing robes. He looks like he's wearing Klingon armor, actually. And it's a strange sight to see a Sarin wearing Klingon armor. Most of it looks like it's been torn at and damaged, but it looks like he's been beaten. And the moment he beams onto the bridge, it looks like he was in a crouched position, and he topples over. And as this is happening, and the shields go back up, as all of this is happening, you can see the activity on the bridge on the view screen, as almost instantly you see the crew of Gulsarit's ship reacting to this news and reacting to the fact that a transporter. The reason why the difficulty was so high wasn't just because of the nebula. That card that he had in place should have prevented the transport. Otherwise, the Klingons could have gotten him back, right? He had something in place. He had something in place to stop that from happening. And Jiv cannot help himself, because the moment the ambassador brings over, Jiv jumps out of his chair and goes,
Shiv, I need a site-to-site. Transport the ambassador to sickbay immediately. Martinez to Mutazi. You've got an incoming patient that you need attention right away.
Time to rabbit, sir?
Almost.
So the Cardassian on the screen.
The Cardassian on the screen.
The Cardassian, Gul Sarit, when he gets the news, as this has all just happened, you see he just My apologies, Captain. I had planned on being a bit more of an adversary for you.
Not at all. Completely off the record, you can learn this human Earth phrase on the way back to Cardassia, just for future reference. Off the record. Don't fuck with the Federation. Now I'm going to go ahead and let you go, because in my records it's going to state that I had no choice, that you were willing to self-destruct your own ship, and to prevent loss of life, I had to let my captives escape.
Communication cuts.
All right, disable the tractor
Damn it, I
beam.
wanted to yell something at him.
You watch his face vanish from the view screen, and there's almost this sense like you were so close to your prey. You were so close to your prey.
disabling the tractor beam, Captain.
He's running like a coward, Kadak, but the good news is you have another other opportunity to get him.
He's obviously not running very far or very fast either, so he probably won't make it too far.
So his ship basically limps away at half impulse power. As you all begin to pull the Sally Ride away from this Cardassian ship, it takes about 20 minutes or so as you're moving away from the nebula, but it jumps to warp. Which...
Whose ship?
The Cardassian ship.
They must have repaired their warp drive.
Your instinct probably tells you that they were in the process of some mad repairs when you stumbled upon them.
Yes.
So you were on the clock and didn't realize it. So let's go to our conclusion.
Captain's log, supplemental.
Yeah, basically. So you've retrieved Ambassador Nelu after a high-risk maneuver of transporting him off this Cardassian vessel. What you learn in the aftermath of these events was that ship, indeed, the Gull Saret, is in fact a holdout of the Cardassian Central Command, and was not operating under any of the orders from the civilian government. At least not operating under the orders to attack the Klingon vessel. The civilian government was under the impression that Gull Saret was their man.
Negotiating and
right.
Got it.
They have since put out a bulletin across their fleet to keep an eye out for that ship. With the amount of damage it took, she's going to have to make dock somewhere for repairs. In the meantime, though, you succeeded in getting essentially Ambassador, but actually Agent Nelu, back from the Cardassians. He wasn't on that ship long enough to go through the famous Cardassian torture, but he did sustain significant injuries. While he was over there and is recovering nicely. The Sally Ride is able to, at this point, you guys find yourselves on the edge of the neutral zone near the Klingon border, with a Klingon bird of prey decloaking astern. Which is a little alarming, since the traditional approach to a ship would be from the fore, but it's not in an attack pattern. But it does alarm the crew when a Klingon bird of prey basically decloaks to your aft.
It's impolite.
What's that?
It's impolite.
Oh yes, and you get the impression it's on purpose.
Yeah.
But the Brel does move around and come to station keeping next to the Sally Ride, and you are hailed.
It's basically like eyes up here.
On the screen, you see, the screen comes up and you see a Klingon woman sitting center chair, in armor with her arms crossed, and says, "Captain Martinez."
Hi.
"I am Kret, daughter of Roka. I believe you have someone that belongs to me."
I do, Kret. Thank you for meeting us here. I have a Kadak.
She just looks over at you and says, "Kadak, are they all dead?"
Yes. They died with honor. In combat. Battling cowards.
She leans forward in her chair and says, "Kadak, if you saw that Cardassian ship again, would you know it?"
It is ingrained in my brain for life.
She leans back and says, "Captain, I believe I will retrieve my new crewman then. I would say that the Klingon Empire thanks you, but off the record, this never happened."
I would say it was our pleasure, but off the record, I don't know what you're talking about.
Captain, as an intelligence officer, I admired your diplomacy. It was an honor serving with you.
The honor was all mine, Kadak.
Kupla.
Kapla.
You step off the bridge, heading down to the transporter beam.
And now time for some real gawk.
Yeah. She looks at you and she says, "I regret that our two peoples are no longer allies. But if the battle does come, Captain, it will be an honor to kill you. Kapla.
Kapla.
That's my kind of woman.
Screen goes dark, and a Klingon bird of prey pulls away from the Sally Ride and immediately jumps to warp.
I think she was flirting with me. Right? That was like a flirt, right?
I believe so.
Hashtag it's a date.
Hashtag that could be a date.
Was she wearing like the sexy female Klingon armor that showed?
No.
The boob window.
No boob windows on my
Love that
Klingon
boob
warriors.
window.
No.
You hear that?
Thank you.
You hear that?
No.
That's a good
There's
GM.
no reason in the world why a Klingon warrior would expose their heart like that.
It's true.
Well,
Unless there's a
she might have just exposed.
No, there was.
That's true.
There was one reason. Ratings.
And also boobs. But
And there's that old Klingon adage, if you've got it, flaunt it. No, they don't believe in that. They don't believe in
I
that.
legit think there was a force field just over that
Force
area.
field.
That's
So Shiv just Shiv comes down and stands where Kadak was standing and just goes, it's a shame we didn't get to introduce any of them to our holographic Targ. I would have loved to have seen a Klingon react to a Targ in a bow tie.
Yeah, that would have been great. Hey, that reminds me. Has Mutasi interfaced at all with the EMH?
No.
That would be fun to see.
I mean, it does need to go through a diagnostic cycle. It's possible I could just run it for a while.
Okay, great.
Sir, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to go back to my training simulations in the holosuites.
Sure. Of course, Commander.
A few more Nazis to punch.
And that'll be tonight's game.
Actually, before we do that,
There's always an actually. I always say, and that'll be tonight's game. No, wait, I want to do something. All right, what is it?
This is important.
You want your cream soda? What is it,
No!
Sage? What? Sage? What?
Wait, there's more to me than cream soda. Okay, you guys. I just want to say that once I get off duty, I go back to my quarters.
Okay.
And I hold the piece of earring in my hand that I have.
Okay.
And just think to myself that my real parents would have been really proud of us today, fighting the Cardassians.
There's holding that earring in your hand. There's a little piece of you, and at first it's this feeling of joy that kind of comes to you, like a sense of belonging, and then it's overshadowed by a realization that even like for a moment you felt like a Bajoran, but then you realize how alone you are out here, in that you don't know your culture. And your parents, like, who are they? On Earth or out there?
And that's when I get a cream soda. Because it'll make me feel pretty good.
Cut to root punching Nazis.
And that is
And
where we will
forget.
end tonight's game of Shield of Tomorrow.
Well, now I'm sad.
All right. So a little good look, like a one episode arc there.
Thank you, Jason Charles Miller!
Thank
And
you
I
so
didn't
much.
die.
No, you didn't die. So we might see Kadak again. We might get to see more Kadak. I was
He's
really
out
looking forward to ship combat.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get into that. I was really looking forward
My
to that.
character's very attuned for that, let's just say.
Well, it's going to happen. Because remember, we're on the brink of the Dominion War, so inevitably, the Sally Ride might find herself in some tricky situations.
I was this close to suggesting we just beam over Kadak, just beam him over. But I was
Your
like, but I
Klingon
didn't
grenade just thrown onto the bridge.
Just, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to
man, that
see
would've
Jason
been
Charles Miller's
awesome.
character die. I was like, I want him to come back. I don't want him to die an honorable Klingon death. Make sure that he be okay.
All right. Well, thank you. This was great. Thank you so much for coming on, Jason,
fun.
for this
Thank
little
you.
one-shot in continuity, of course, but this like one little short episode. We miss Amy, but we'll be back next Wednesday. I think we have everyone back next Wednesday before our off week.
I purposely made my Hawaiian flight Thursday.
Thank you,
I changed
Ensign
my
Sage.
flight.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. I did not want the ship to not have someone at the helm. That
All
would have
right.
been bad.
Okay, well, with that, we will leave you guys and see you all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and join us next week at 9:30, same bat time, bat channel, all that stuff. Until then, hailing frequencies closed. Thanks for tuning in to Shield of Tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. We'll be here every week with the ongoing adventures of the USS Sally Ride. New episodes air on Geek and Sundry Twitch and Alpha every Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you'd like to see more, you can start your free 30-day trial on projectalpha.com.